Think about you.
He was just screaming. That's why she's not there. I mean, I'm sitting here.
That's their choice. That's their choice. You can go. Nothing says you. There is nothing stopping us. Would you go? I don't know. It didn't stop Carl, right? Carl kept showing up. How come Jen McCabe couldn't show up? Because she was ashamed. Because she knows what she did.
Listening to him, thinking, I can't even imagine when all this is played in his civil trials.
Go ahead.
In his criminal trial.
Civil trial. What civil trial?
Of silence.
I have watched that so many times, and it doesn't stop being funny.
Yes.
Amazing.
Shout out to Andy for catching that.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
So funny.
Way to go, Andy.
Way to go, Andy.
The music she put with it is perfect.
200 of the views are us watching it over and over again.
Happy Easter, y'all.
Happy Easter. My Wi-Fi's a little behind, I think.
Oh.
You guys keep freezing on me. Do I seem like I am on time?
You do.
Okay.
And Julie, you're perfect. I noticed Thursday.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I know so many people are going to be happy about that.
Yeah, I noticed Thursday. I thought I was going to be late, but I ended up missing the whole thing. But you guys did great. But yeah, I noticed. I was like, oh my gosh, Julie's like perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. I was actually freezing that night, and Julie was just fine.
You weren't freezing, though. We thought you were freezing, right?
Yep, I was freezing.
Oh, you were?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought Julie and I kept thinking you were freezing, but you weren't freezing.
I was.
Oh.
I transferred my problems to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
There always has to be one, right?
Right?
Yeah.
That is too funny. Well, shall we begin, guys?
Yes, let's begin.
I am so excited. So today we're just it's going to be a little more casual than usual. We're going to quickly go over the recent Canton town meeting. And then we are going to go over the newest motions that just hit the docket. So I guess we'll start with Peter Hennessy. So there was a hero of a citizen of Canton.
Peter is the hero.
We love you, Peter.
Yeah, and he got up there and did something that so many people have been just dying for someone to do. And that's to be brave enough to get up there and call people out. And who he called out was the Canton Select Board member, Trisha Bdon. And let's play it so everyone can get a little... Here it is. A little piece of what they missed out if you guys haven't watched it.
Recently, emails released from Aiden Carney's personal cell phone extraction have been circulating through social media outlets. Some of these emails are specific to the town of Canton. Multiple emails were sent to Carney from a former member of FinCom and a current member of this select board. Those individuals are David Clough, a former member of FinCon, currently seeking two seats for election, first the select board and secondly town assessor. And second person is Trish Bdon, sitting member of the select board, duly elected to that position, I believe, 2 years ago. Both Bdon and Clough repeatedly reached out to blogger Aiden Carney to provide him with information on local Canton citizens that included people serving on boards, on town committees, a state representative, a current and retired police officers, and many other private citizens and numerous local businesses. You may wonder, to what purpose? Well, Carney would boast public shaming works. And as we all witnessed, Aiden made a living out of public shaming. Canton individuals, families, businesses, and community leaders suffered under Aiden Carney. Karen Reed herself had many texts revealed in this extraction. And this example, she praised him for his excellent work. Look what you have done to their reputations. And my jury pool. Chris's business is the next casualty, just a matter of time. Chloe and Boyd knew full well what would happen to the individuals and businesses who they named and delivered to Aiden Carney. On their own, these actions are indefensible. But the fact that they insisted on assurance of anonymity only compounds and adds to their culpability, all the while claiming the high ground of their own transparency and accountability. A trust broken is a bridge burned. Thank you.
That was so good. It was so well written. It was so articulate. And it got straight to the point. It was so good.
So well done.
I think the most important thing, and I mean, obviously we're going to talk about this, this isn't what our show is about tonight, but you know, if you live in Canton and you're watching this, you gotta stand up and join this man. I mean, he's the only one that's done this in 3 years. It's time. It's time.
That other name he mentioned, is that the one that they're now putting on signs?
Yes.
That they're okay. And the one that Mike Crawford is now promoting on his show.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was on the police audit committee.
Yes. Yes.
So he was a part of that.
Yes. And he also was reaching out to Turtle Boy about the citizens of Canton. Yeah.
As was the person standing behind Peter.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Clow was the one that Clow, however you say it. He's the one that told Aiden he was, I'm going to not laugh. I promise you I'm not going to laugh. He was fighting the deep state.
Yes.
So,
he was. Yes. Yes.
So have they just started promoting him since this extraction came out, or was it beforehand?
It was before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, before. But yeah, he is running for, I think the election is next week, actually. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
Chris is done, right? So
yes.
It would have to be next week.
Yeah, and I think what's her name? I forget her name. That's standing behind him. She gets up afterwards and talks about voting next week.
Yes. Yeah. I just, I think it's time people take his lead. I mean, he had the guts to do this, and I mean, if 100 of you go down there and all get in line and start doing this, I mean, maybe Turtle Boy won't think he owns your town anymore, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he says that, right? He says he's the mayor of Canton. He owns Canton.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So, I mean, I think it's time that you got to, I know it's uncomfortable and whatever, but it's not like it used to be, right?
Yeah. And the way he said that the public shaming. So this guy, obviously, we was talking about public shaming and all that. And that kind of goes into that whole Canton witch trials thing that we would always compare it as, right? I mean, this really was the witch hunt. And he articulated it so well. I agree, Chick from the Bricks. I have so much respect for him as well. Yeah. So one of the ladies that he called out, her name is Patricia, or Trisha, goes by Trisha, and she is on the select board. She's there. Should I leave and come back?
Maybe so.
Yeah, come back.
I'm sorry.
You should resurrect yourself into this stream.
Oh, just like Barry. Do it.
Gosh, I mean, some of these characters on social media around this case. Just wild,
It's
wild.
crazy. Like, think about how weird it is, right? There's somebody on Twitter who literally pretends he's his brother and announces his death, and then comes back 2 days later and is like, "Hello, everyone, I'm back." And no one even, it's just like a normal day on Twitter.
Yeah.
Normal.
Nobody bats an eye. Like,
Days later, it's like, "Hello."
And then he tries to explain the meaning of passed away, as in it means you leave Twitter.
oh,
He was like, it literally means you're leaving. And I was like, no, that's not what it means. It means
no.
you died. But I don't know. Pretty strange.
Oh, the Easter Bunny's back.
The Easter Bunny has been cleansed.
I have risen. All right. Let's see. We'll see if this works this time. Is my audio okay?
It's
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Sounds
All
great.
right.
Can I say one more thing about Peter, though? Something that he said
Yeah.
that I feel like is really important. He said, and remember, we're talking about elected officials here, right? So they're supposed to be accountable to the people that they serve in every way. And what he said at the end is that the fact that these elected officials and others asked for anonymity from Aidan Kearney says so much about what kind of leaders they are on the select board. Just the very fact that they're hiding this from the voters and thinking that they're going to get this anonymity from Turtle Boy while they actively try to destroy other people that they are serving with is wild. So
Yeah.
I'm glad he called that out.
Yes,
Yeah. Well said.
exactly.
So with that, we can move over to Patricia or Trisha. And she, like I was saying, she is literally sitting at the table that he is talking to. And we'll play the video of her response, but you'll catch, I think it's in the clip. I don't know if it got clipped out because it's right before she starts talking, but she's actually not supposed to respond to comments.
Mhm.
And so she works her way around that because Trisha does what Trisha wants to do. So
Yep.
To the person who spoke during public comment. In April 2023, a year before I was elected to the Canton Select Board,
This is not a response to public comment. I thought it was a response to the candidate night.
no,
Oh.
this is, no, that's next.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So she can't respond to
No, I
I'm
can.
supposed to respond.
She can't.
Well, actually, we talked, all right, then I'm going to just say this is a response to something I heard.
Okay.
Okay. In April
So if you catch that, she's like, I'm going to respond. And they're like, you can't respond. And then she's like, then I'm going to say, I'm just going to respond to something I heard instead of a comment. So, okay.
Yeah, that says it all.
Remember how many times Chris
Yeah.
had to just sit there and take whatever they said to him and he had no response?
Yep. And
He
she,
wasn't allowed to respond.
yeah. And she just made up her own new rule there
Mhm.
for the select board. Now she's just going to respond to something she heard.
Imagine if Chris did that.
Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah.
No.
And, you know, she could have always have done that earlier in defense of Chris as well when she sat next to him on the board.
Mhm.
For the entire time while he was abused.
Yeah.
Right. While she is feeding the abuse and encouraging the abuse and contributing to the abuse.
Yep.
2023, a year before I was elected to the Canton Select Board, Aidan Kearney began exploring the story about Karen Reed, setting in motion significant questions about the John O'Keefe investigation. Within weeks, Kearney received emails from hundreds of people, including me, offering information that helped him piece the story together. Worth noting, I met him once. I told him I appreciated him breaking the Karen Reed story. That was the only thing I liked about his body of work. To refresh memories, in 2023, our community had more questions than answers and was eager for accountability, thus the vote for police audit before the largest group of people to ever attend a town meeting. As we all know, Karen Reed was acquitted last year by a jury of her peers who reviewed testimony and evidence. Recently, the background I shared with Kearney 3 years ago was made public with attacks on me and my family. This information I shared was public, except for one piece I urged him to corroborate or not use. He respected my wishes and did not use it. Additionally, I stood in front of the select board during public comment during that time period and voiced my concerns directly to the select board about its newest member not meeting his financial obligations. A year later, I was elected to the select board. To reiterate, the documents I sent to Kearney back in 2023 were fact-based and public information. The possible tip was never corroborated, therefore never published until someone chose to amplify it. Karen Reed was in fact found not guilty of murder. In 2024, I garnered more votes than any of my opponents, underscoring that many in the community shared my concerns. I work for the community I love, and I'm eager for the civil trial to be over so we can close this chapter and put this lingering vitriol behind us. I'm looking forward to this town being known for its great schools, its location, its history, its committed group of municipal employees, and volunteers who work at making Canton better every day. You're up.
So that's a good question that Maui just asked. Why was her speech prepared? Did she write it in between intermission or?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
I think she was aware that Peter was going to speak. So she was probably assumed, since the extraction had come out, that that's what he was going to talk about, because he's been very vocal about, the toxicity in the town and whatnot. So I think she had someone write that speech for her, because she did not write that. She did not write that speech.
Yeah, and I love how she said, until someone chose to amplify it. Trish, I would like to give this message directly to you.
Yeah.
The person that chose to amplify it was your BFF, Aiden Kearney.
Right.
So you can talk to him. You can text him. You know you have his digits.
Right.
About who chose to amplify that message. And it wasn't amplified. You tried to hide it.
Right.
That was actually Sean, though, that did that.
Yeah.
Sean is the one that pushed that.
Yes.
So not Aiden, but Sean is the one that ran with
the Wainless story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I'm saying she's saying no one would have found out about this if somebody didn't choose to amplify the fact that I sent these messages. Well, it's Aiden that chose to amplify it.
I mean, the most amazing part of her speech is, there was no apology.
No.
She's basically justifying it by saying, people were looking for answers, but there's a difference between looking for answers and sending an unhinged mob.
Yeah.
And an unhinged blogger.
Your peer who's sitting feet away from you at every meeting.
Yep.
Yes.
Basically, I helped destroy this town, but let's all just move on now.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just one of hundreds who chose to destroy this town.
Right. Just like Rita, Jen O'Donnell. Where are all these people now? They've all disappeared after they destroyed their town.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is amazing how she removed herself from that. I mean, that was a terrible rumor. That was awful.
Yes.
She just refused. She refused to take any responsibility for it.
Yes. Not even and not even to say anything about what Chris Albert has endured sitting there for the past 2 years. I mean, and to say her and her family have been attacked. Have you had a rolling rally at your house? Have people been coming to your doors? What are you talking about? You got shit on Twitter.
Right.
That happens to us every day. Please.
Yeah.
And then she says the amplify part that I was talking about, she says the possible tip, meaning just bitter gossip that I sent to Aiden Kearney was never corroborated, therefore never published until someone chose to amplify it. So let me ask you a question, Trish. If you thought you had Blues Clues your way into a tip that was meaningful in a murder case in your town, why didn't you send that tip to the police?
Good question.
As a sitting member of the Canton Select Board, wouldn't you have had an obligation to share that information with the police? But no, that is not what you did.
Yep.
You shared it with a gossip columnist.
So she wasn't a sitting member then when all this happened, because I actually think if she was, I think she would be thrown off the select board if she was a sitting member. So lucky for her, she wasn't at the time.
But she's so civic minded that she then ran for the select board, but she can't call 911 with her hot tip.
Right. And she knew, right? She's one of the, I would say, if not the top person that benefited from the division in Canton, right? That's why she won.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
And she made sure to highlight her win, how
She
vast
sure did.
it was.
Yeah, she sure did.
I bet she's fun at parties.
Yeah. And then, even the comment regarding Karen Reed, being acquitted, again, like she's justifying it by a jury of her peers. I mean, Trish, we've all heard from the jury, the jury foreman wishes that manslaughter was on the table so they could have convicted her of that. Manslaughter was on the table. I mean, Paula Prado says, she does think John was clipped by a car, but, then he lost his shoe and then he went in the house and got, the shit kicked out of him and got murdered. I mean, we've all seen the jury, Trish. So I don't think it was a jury of her peers.
No.
So obviously this is the transcript of what she said. And I think just visually seeing the rhetoric, I highlighted, there's no rhyme or reason to the highlight, just to kind of separate some of the little points that she had made. But she had said Kearney received emails from hundreds of people, which makes me want to know, how does she know how many emails Aiden received?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where is that information from, especially since she's trying to act like she really doesn't have any kind of relationship with him other than just helping out as a community member and sending a tip. And then she put, worth noting, I met him once. So she's distancing herself. That she had told him she appreciated him breaking the Karen Reed story. That was the only thing I liked about his body of work. This actually makes me laugh because it's like every person who aligns with Aiden is like, I know he's a vile human being. However, like he was doing good work over here. And it's like, they never want to associate themselves with him because he's an awful person. He was on a smear campaign. He was treating people awful. I mean, obviously, Chris Albert, her fellow candidate at one point, right? And then she brings up, I just find this so weird. I just find this speech so infuriating and weird because there's no accountability in there. But she's like, oh, yeah. So there was this police audit and also Karen Reed was acquitted. And it's like, well, first of all, lady, what did that audit find? Did the audit find that conspiracy that you were helping push? No, that's probably worth bringing up, right? And the fact that Karen Reed was acquitted means nothing to us because the man you were leaking rumors to was out there with a blowhorn screaming that he wanted to taint the jury pool.
Right.
So it almost is more infuriating that you think her being acquitted means something in regards to this rumor mill and this harassment campaign and any of it. Because honestly, it doesn't. It just amplifies many of the concerns that all of us have over how this was all handled.
And just to add,
the
rumor mill that Trish was a part of is one of the reasons that the audit even had to take place.
Right.
And how much did that audit cost the town of Canton?
Oh my God.
Upwards of $200,000, wasn't it? Isn't that like
to find no conspiracy and no corruption?
Right.
And they dismissed it, right? They're like, what? You found nothing?
Yep.
Like, well, who did
I mean, do you guys remember the picture of all of them? I can picture it. I wish we pulled it up for this.
Yes.
The picture of all of them, how mad they were.
Yeah.
After the meeting where the what's it called again? Five stones or the
5 stones and thousands, I think.
Where they announced it, right? And those two guys did such a great job. And they announced how they found no corruption, they found no conspiracy. They talked about how great Jen McCabe's 911 call was. They talked about the leaf blower being a great idea. And, they gave some ideas for that the police could have done better, the Canton Police Department. But they also said they found no conspiracy. They found no corruption. And I will always remember the picture of all of those women in the audience, and they were so mad. Yeah. Wouldn't you be so happy that they found nothing in your town?
Well, the woman that stood up, I can't remember her name now, but she nailed it. She said, these people will never be happy because they wanted a conspiracy.
They do. I remember their faces. They were all pouting. They were so mad. It was
and
really,
you would think they'd be like happy,
like celebrated.
You guys, we have very good officers who did their job, and we should be extremely relieved, I guess would be the word, right? Relieved. Yeah. And instead, their pride was in front of them, and they could not swallow it.
And all of a sudden, I can't remember their name again, Five Stones, I think, they became part of the conspiracy.
Correct.
Yeah.
All the way, that one went all the way up to the Grant Smith Ellis crowd. And Kate was working for Five Stone, and we were working for Five Stone.
Insane.
Yeah, lunatics.
Yeah.
I had to burn my 5 Stone t-shirt so no one would.
I know. In my ID. Now, Tuesday, you noticed something about Trisha's emails to Aiden that kind of were at odds with what she's saying here. Do you remember that?
Yes. I'm not sure exactly what you were gonna
about.
Go ahead, point it out.
Familiarity.
Oh yeah. So, I have a screenshot of that. I'll show that in a second. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So the only thing I was gonna say too here is, so she complains about her family being attacked. And she says, the information I shared was public except for one piece. I urged him to corroborate or not use. So keep that in mind, because I'm going to show you her text, or the timing of her text here. And then she says, and this is important. So to reiterate, the documents I sent to Kearney back in 2023 were fact-based and public information. The possible tip was never corroborated, therefore never published until someone chose to amplify it.
Mm-hmm.
So she is blaming, I'm guessing she's blaming the extraction on that.
She is.
Okay. And then again, she brings up Karen Reed, acquitted, guys. And then she brings up how cherished she is and how many people voted for her. And then she really wants to close this chapter now, guys, and stop.
Yeah, she does.
I bet she does.
Sure, she does.
Now that the chapter has actually opened, she wants it closed.
Yes, because her family's being impacted, apparently.
Yeah.
So here I have the two messages that I pulled up here, and just note the time. So they're on the same day, and this right here is in the white. This is just I just made it larger so you guys could read it. So she messages him, not sure if you've covered this yet. Good morning. When Karen Reed's car was towed from her parents' house, it was brought to Brilliance Auto Body in Canton, owned by Canton police officer Brian Wanless. T. So that's obviously the thing I think you are mentioning.
It is.
Lydia, or Amy, as you're going by today.
Yes.
That this tea seems a little friendly, right? For someone who's
a little friendly.
Formally reaching out to a journalist to help give some information. So in this text, do you see her tell anyone like, hey, make sure and double check that this is correct information at this point? No. And this is at 11 a.m., right? She sends this. He ends up messaging her back and being like, how do you know this?
Mm-hmm.
And she responds later at 8, I believe. Oops. Sorry. There's so many of these on here. So she responds at 8 o'clock that same day at night and says, "My friend's sister is married to Brian's brother. Don't use it unless you can corroborate it. I can't have it traced back to me.
Can't.
I'll ask other people I know and see if I can find a second or third source."
Yeah, that doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like what she described.
No. I mean, an entire day has gone by, 9 hours since she told him this false rumor. And at 8 o'clock, she's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, don't use this unless you can corroborate it. It's basically a rumor that I started because my friend's sister."
Tuesday, I think she's talking about Sean on the Gulf is the person that amplified it, not the extraction, because he ran with this story.
Did he? Okay, I was wondering what she was meaning.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't understand what you were saying.
Yeah. Right, Julie? Sean ran with this. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Sean McDonough
Yeah,
that took
okay.
this.
He
This
is
was
all,
built
you can
there.
find a million messages from him about this topic on
He was
X and
He
everywhere
was
else.
obsessed with this.
Yes.
So how
I
did
mean,
you hear this?
at any time, Trish could have corrected this rumor.
Should have.
You know what? That's a great point.
Yeah, she
That's a
could
great
have.
point.
She could have. I mean, the tail light was Sean's quote unquote project. You guys remember that? He said he had been brought in to deal with the tail light. So of course this would go to Sean.
I don't remember that, Julie. Did Sean talk about the taillight?
Yeah, you want me to? I will post the clip.
I don't think we even talked about that. That's
Yeah, I
crazy.
fell for that one, Carrie. Oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm like, the sarcasm is like going.
No,
crazy.
Old Pats is dead. She did make the list.
She did.
She did.
She's on there. We're pretty low down though, so we're trying to work on it.
I think Tuesday was 22 and Julie was
Tuesday
23.
beat us. Ginny and I got screwed.
I only made the list because I fought for myself. I really championed myself in that chat. And he finally saw my comment and he added me. And then I think as a byproduct, he added you.
And then Kate was number 40, wasn't she?
Yeah. How is Kate so low?
No, Ginny was 40.
No, I ended up being 40 and Lydia was 39, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
What
we
about
got
Kate?
dropped.
Kate didn't make the list?
No, she
Kate's
made
on
the
the, I think she's on the list. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's pretty
she
high
is.
up on the list.
Because I think he said she was going to be last on his list because she barely mattered. And I was like, what?
I guess
Who
he
was
hasn't read
number
the
one?
extraction.
Does anybody know who number one was?
I don't know who
No,
number
I
not
one was.
remember.
I asked the
Huh.
girls.
Kate
Okay, Kate was like
26.
26. Okay.
Old Pats is dead. Who was number one? Do you know?
Yeah, who was
Remember?
number one? Put it in the chat. Now,
I
okay,
am number 26. Oh my God.
I
I
know.
know. Isn't that funny?
So in Trish's mind,
How is Kate Peter 26 and I am 14? That's,
No idea.
that's
Yeah,
not
I'm
good.
22.
come on.
that is
I did
not-
like Purple was like,
Meredith is number one.
Ah,
Oh, for
oh,
real?
of course.
Gotcha.
That
Of
makes sense.
course.
Oh wait, do you mean Meredith or do you mean Mo on Twitter? I don't know. I think you mean
Probably
Meredith.
Meredith, right?
Meredith.
I just like that he was like, Tuesday and Julie are tied. So Tuesday is number 22 and Julie's 23. I'm like, that's not what a tie is.
Not a
Yeah,
tie.
no.
It's okay.
You know, we're both
Then
22.
Yeah, I guess we're a package deal. Like,
I
you get both
guess.
of us. Yeah.
No.
It's buy one, get one free.
Yeah, someone
Yeah.
sent that link when it was going on, and I was cracking up.
Oh God, I
had to go
know.
watch it.
Yesterday was a interesting day. They were all kind of off the reservation, losing their minds, weren't they?
Yeah, it was like, yeah, they desperately needed some medication yesterday.
Yeah. A bunch of Judases.
and then Barry in the middle of it all, just
Yeah,
like
comes back to
so
life.
crazy.
No, I
And
thought
not-
he left again. He
He
died.
did. He
Did
left
he
again.
die again?
Yeah.
I
Oh
cannot keep up
gosh.
with this saga.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
gone
gonna have
again.
to send flowers.
Because there were pages and
two
pages of unhinged stuff that I saw this morning. So it's an Easter. It's like a backwards Easter, I guess.
Yeah,
That again.
right.
That's weird.
We
Backwards.
lost you when I need to-
But I just wanted to say one more thing about Trish is here. This is how Trish imagines this whole thing going down. I send some absolute bullshit gossip to somebody. Then I get mad because it gets amplified because I wanted it to be anonymous.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah, while I'm walking Chloe with Turtle Boy. And then because it's not anonymous and I'm gossiping about my own family members and their relationships, that's the toxic crap I'm sending to the gossip columnist. Now my family is impacted because I want to make it clear she's gossiping about her family and that's why her family is impacted, not because of even Sean on the golf. But anyway.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
How did
Kool-Aid is number
how
one
did-
for Kate.
How did Sean know about this? So where did this tip come from? This rumor?
It came from Trish.
Came from her.
So
Yeah.
did she reach out to Sean?
But Aiden probably told Sean.
Aiden probably told him. There was a lot of communication between Sean and Aiden, as well as, Karen was in direct communication with Sean as well.
I can go find it. I can go
Yeah.
look on that day and see if I can find the message. to
I'm
Sean.
sure Aiden
or-
told. I'm sure
or she
Aiden told
had.
Karen about that. For sure.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, for
he did.
sure. And Karen probably told Sean because, he had a project and he was doing his project. And so that was very important.
Mhm.
Why is Aiden holding surveying equipment in that photo? I'm so confused by that photograph. It's really bothering me. Was he marking off properties for someone? What is he doing?
I don't
He might have
know.
been, yeah, he might have been.
He's probably going to get the pool noodles out and start some test drive. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where is this? I was also gonna. Oh,
I just wanted to make a comment. Eagle-eyed girl had put up a comment earlier when I had said, more people from Canton should stand up like Peter, and she had said a lot of people do, and I definitely, I didn't mean it like that. What I meant more was at the select board meetings. I know people are, of being attacked and whatever, but if there's 100 of you down there and 100 of you speak up, or 50, like, they can't go after 100 people. They can't go after 50 people. I mean, look at Peter. He stood up. I mean, there's no backlash anymore. People know what's going on. They've realized it. So I think it's just time to take your town back. And like Julie said, he has said, he's the daddy of Canton. He owns Canton. He doesn't.
No, he doesn't. You do.
Yeah. So I just think
he
it's
doesn't even live there.
No. It would just be so great to see, more people down there, just a ton of people just, standing up like that. It would be something.
Saying they're tired of Peter Murphy's weird ass with an oven mitt standing on the side of the road yelling about stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And just, the toxicity and the just, it's such a small group of people who have caused this, which is crazy, right?
It is crazy.
And, 3/4 of them are not even speaking out anymore. So
Move on to the motions real quickly. I want to point out when I first started, and I have the tweet, it's not uploaded. I was going to upload it. We can if we want to, but I found it in my tweets. But when I first started questioning this case and I was asking questions on Twitter, it was in 2023, I believe it was November, that I was told about this lie about the car going to a car shop and being fixed. So, Trisha, your rumors spread and you were still applauding Aiden. I was hearing this rumor in November of 2023 when I was first asking about this question. And here you are in this tweet praising Aiden once again. So you knew that your rumor was spreading and you did not speak up. You sat next to Chris once you were on the board and you allowed this to continue. And then you had the audacity to make that speech and act like you're the victim and that you were playing into this hero moment that the entire town was needing. And the truth is you are participating in the rumor mill that was bringing the community down. And I think a little self-awareness will go a long way with you, Trisha.
Yes. And how disgusting is that? I mean, look at all the videos we've been showing everybody, right? We've had so many, I mean, we've all had so many messages of how heavy it is and how hard it is to watch. And there she is writing on Twitter to him. We're forever grateful to you. Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. What is wrong with you?
It's a weird worshipy. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, imagine watching one of his videos and being like, yeah, sign me up for that.
No.
And that's why they're like, I didn't know anything about him. I didn't support his work, but he was doing a great job with this Karen Reed thing and was exposing a lot. And he was getting all these tips.
We lost you again. You're mute.
We've lost the Easter Bunny. It's the curse, the audio curse.
Well, should we start the response?
Yeah.
We can. So do you want to do the response? You want to do Yuri? What are we doing first? You want to do the response?
Yuri's very sassy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, whichever one you guys want to do first. I don't care.
I don't care.
I actually have not been able to read through Yuri all the way. So
it's very sassy. I love it.
I'll have some ad-libbed responses for that one.
I know Yuri is sassy. He's so
it's funny. Yeah.
Yuri was sassy when he read the messages. He was so good at that.
He
I
was.
love that
I
part of
enjoyed
the
that.
thing. Yeah.
Oh, that was the best.
He was so good. We should
want to do that first.
One night on the show. That would be fun.
You want to do him first? It'll be like an amuse-bouche.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Because it's pretty quick. Okay, so I actually found
his face.
I found a photograph of him reading the complaint. And so I wanted to put that in there so you guys could all enjoy that.
My favorite, I have to show you guys. I'll send it to you guys. We'll show the audience another time. But my favorite picture of Yuri is, I have a picture of him when Alan Jackson said, "Let's talk about the dog." For the first time. Remember his face?
Yes, I will never forget it.
It was classic.
I clipped it because it was amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, his expressions during all of his testimony were so great. I was just like, it was great. I really identified with him. So here he is reading the complaint. So most of it is very repetitive. So I just pulled out a few things that were just kind of hilarious and salty. And the first point is in 28. So a lot of the points in his response just say either he doesn't have knowledge of what that particular paragraph is about, or then there are it's interspersed with these ones where it's like, yeah, this is complete horseshit. So she says in point 28 that she's describing the evening and she says they had several drinks. And he says she consumed a minimum of 9 alcoholic drinks. And if you watch both trials and you watched him counting them, there's a strong probability that it was more than 9. And I counted them in a video and I have it on screen. And I think I got to 10 in there because you can see her at the bar when John leaves to go to the bathroom. When she first comes in, she's doing this at the bartender. So the first drink she orders is a double. But anyway, he says he agrees that they did go to CF McCarthy's in the Waterfall Bar in Canton. So yeah, that's not several.
That's hilarious. She put several.
I know.
I mean, they were
4.
Yeah, weak pours.
Yeah, 4 weak pours.
Mm-hmm.
So then in section 40, he says, it is believed to be accurate that Miss Reed was the first to locate Mr. O'Keefe under inches of snow, as she was aware of his location.
Wow.
That's pretty spot on.
Yep.
So then in 51, this one just made me laugh because they're talking about how, everyone is conspiring with the witnesses during their interviews. And he says, so he's like, come on, there nothing was outside of protocol. We did the interviews like we always do the interviews. And he says that he admits that some House defendants were interviewed at their lawyer's office as required by the United States Constitution, Karen. But the United States Constitution doesn't apply when Karen doesn't want it to apply.
Yeah, that goes well with the show the other night, huh?
Uh-huh.
The attorney showing up at Higgins' house, even though he had an attorney.
And it also, the Constitution does not apply to the petitioning activity, the normal, regular petitioning activity that the people that she's attacking engaged in.
Mm-hmm.
So then in 52, I just wanted to highlight that he further states there's been no evidence discovered to support any wrongdoing by Jennifer McCabe. So there's that. This is my favorite one. So this is point 60. And in point 60, it says Buchanan is confused as to why, as Karen Reed alleges, Ms. McCabe would delete texts to people not involved in this matter, her daughter, but leave the so-called planning texts on her phone for all to see if she had anything to hide. So this is just like pure sarcasm.
Yeah.
I love it. So then he denies that he engaged in an unlawful investigation. No, sorry, this is my favorite. Sorry, Jennifer McCabe. This one's actually my favorite. It is unclear why plaintiff is not identifying such separate law enforcement agency while relying on such investigation. And importantly notes that only an investigation was conducted resulting in no charges or formal action, indicating that no misconduct was found during the investigation by this, quote, separate law enforcement agency. So Karen's reluctance to mention the FBI and the feds in this suit in federal court, is that because the reason that this investigation took place is because David Yannetti took Karen Reed's fever dreams in the form of a proffer to the U.S. Attorney's Office and had them start an investigation that way instead of the normal way that the FBI starts investigations? Just a theory.
Yeah, why isn't she identifying it?
Why doesn't she want to say? Does she not want there to be a spotlight on how that investigation was opened, perhaps?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. They really wanted it out there before.
Right.
I think they may, and also they don't want to talk about it anymore because it was closed, right? With no charges and no. So that's a huge point that he just made.
Yes.
They made a big fuss about not being able to say FBI.
Yes, because they loved saying that, right? I mean, that's why she got it. That's why she got away with it. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. I mean, the FBI investigation is why this case became what it became. I mean,
the FBI proved she didn't hit him. I'm like, ARCA is not the FBI. I don't know how many times we need to explain how this works, but
the FBI is coming. I mean, they were. This was their, Super Bowl was the FBI.
Everyone was flipping. The feds were coming. When the sirens were outside the courtroom, that was the feds. Remember that?
Oh my God.
They were waiting, right?
Yes.
Like they wanted the first trial to happen. And then towards the end, the feds wanted to storm the courtroom. I mean, I remember reading this thinking like, you guys have lost your effing minds.
Sean told Julie and I they were coming on Patriots Day.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, they still say it. They still say it in our replies that the feds are coming and that these people are all going to get arrested.
Yeah. Yeah.
They still believe it. And the reason they believe it is we can speculate. Okay. So 72, Buchanan states that the evidence the MSP collected overwhelming, and I think they meant overwhelmingly, demonstrated the guilt of the plaintiff, Karen Reed. Now here I've included the original points that he's responding to because these are interesting. So in point 92, she says one or more of them, I don't know who them is, destroyed the taillight, secretly took pieces of it into their possession, and then planted some of them in various places at 34 Fairview and on Mr. O'Keefe's clothes. And this is so appropriate for Easter because this is like Karen Reed's version of an Easter egg hunt. People just, stuffing their coats with taillight pieces and running around town and planting them. And he says he not only denies this, but states that the allegations in this paragraph are wholly fictitious and preposterous, which they are.
They're utterly preposterous.
I can't believe attorneys.
I can't either.
Just say yes, ma'am, and put this stuff in a filing.
I know.
It's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
95. Procter & Buchanan, so this is Karen again. Procter & Buchanan took taillight pieces from the Sallyport, brought them back to 34 Fairview to plant them in the location. So they were up all night because they went to dinner at 10, I think he said. To plant them in the location where Mr. O'Keefe's body was found, and then falsified various documents in an attempt to hide their conduct. And so he's exhausted by her at this point, and he just says he denies this preposterous allegation contained in this paragraph. But in 94, he says, Buchanan states the suggestion that he or any other MSP trooper attempted to mislead the jury or tampered with the taillight is false and wholly manufactured from someone's fertile imagination. It's so funny. I love these documents.
Love it.
So, and this part is really interesting. So in 102, he points out the tortured logic that Karen is known for. He says she's claiming on the one hand that Buchanan and Procter had unfettered access to the evidence, but on the other hand, that they had to create a complex and convoluted conspiracy to plant evidence at the scene. If they're just like wearing clothing made out of taillight, why did they have to work so hard at the conspiracy?
Right.
The plaintiff's narrative crumbles under the weight of her own storytelling. Then in 103, he just ends it in an amusing way where he says the allegations in this paragraph, once again, are a work of fiction. And then in 104, he says he denies the allegations contained in this paragraph and further finds them offensive, which you can.
They are offensive.
He should.
They are offensive. Mm-hmm. Then he really brings it home in 119. He says, upon information and belief, Miss Reed is marketing her story and her public appearances for substantial compensation. Additionally, much of the public scrutiny she's faced as a result of her and the defense team feeding information to the media, which we have objective evidence of.
Yep.
In 121, she says that the defendants concocted a plan, executed that plan, framed an innocent woman. They're now responsible for these extraordinary damages Ms. Reed has suffered at their hands. And he says there was no plan, and the only person responsible for her so-called extraordinary damages is Karen Reed.
Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him.
Well done, Yuri.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the end of that.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was well done. And there's such a big difference in the brevity of responding to that nonsense because that document is so long and so bloviated. It's kind of
They must be so exhausted
at
this point, just defending themselves with these absurd allegations.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the response.
Okay.
Tell
me the first.
Shannon has a little crush on Yuri.
I think everyone has a crush on Yuri.
Mm-hmm.
It was that it was him reading the text exchange of the flirt texts.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
That's right.
Did I send you my marked one?
It looks like it's
it.
Oh, shoot. Hold on. Let me load a
Not
different one in there. You don't want to see my marks.
Uh-oh.
Maybe we do.
Maybe we
Yeah,
do.
hold on. Hold, please.
She's like, no, you don't.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Can you guys comment on John's x-rays? What about them? What about his x-rays? I don't understand the question.
Starting. I don't know. I don't know what the question is.
I don't know either.
Maybe-
What are you trying to say?
If you're feeling a little weirdo and you're going to say there are no fractures, no, we're not commenting on that.
Yeah. Why don't you elaborate what you want us to comment about?
No injury below the
I
chest.
think it's important to remember that Dr. Rentschler misrepresented what he was able to see on the x-rays until Hank had him clarify that you can actually not see whether or not there's soft tissue damage, nerve damage, anything like that. It would need an MRI. So there's a lot of unknowns actually in
injury below the chest. Who
He
cares?
did have an injury to his knee.
That's right.
And if you'll
Well,
recall,
reverse
Karen Reed
accident.
said 5,000 times, could I have clipped him in the knee? Why did she say that? And then he had an injury on his knee. I wonder.
why no x-rays in the first trial?
What?
I mean, that question could go to the defense as well. So I don't know what the point is, but these gotchas
I
are
know.
gotchas.
So I always want people like this to comment when they say, can you comment? I always want to ask someone like retired McNapa, can you comment on why Karen Reed would tell Kerry Roberts that John was dead at 4:45 in the morning and that a big car hit him, a plow, before anyone found his body? I always wonder what your answer is to that.
Yeah. And it's like the misrepresentation of what the Commonwealth's theory was is he was not killed by impact of a car.
Correct.
He was clipped. And then we saw Arca's example of a dummy being clipped exactly how the Commonwealth said, and the lower body part of his body was never touched by that vehicle.
Never.
But the arm shattered the taillight. I mean, I don't know how much more clarity people need.
He died because he hit his head on the frozen ground. That's
Right.
why he died.
After being
Died on
done
his
in
body.
exactly the way that Rescue Randy, your hero, demonstrated after his elbow shattered the taillight.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not hard math.
He
And
died
Dr.
from head
Welch-
injury.
Dr. Welcher also shared an example of this type of situation happening in another accident where there's no body damage below the chest. So this is a very probable scenario. It's uncommon when you get clipped in reverse at such a high speed, but
Every accident is different.
it's
They
all
absolutely
different.
are.
Well, I don't think I wouldn't think that a lot of, I don't even know, when would this happen in another scenario that a girlfriend would back her car up at 24 miles per hour for over 82 feet to whatever she was trying to do to John at the time. I mean, I think it's probably a very uncommon
What
car accident.
what would cause you guys to ever reverse at 75% throttle?
Nothing.
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 Not even a spider.
If
Like
you were really mad and drunk,
Yes.
probably that.
Yep.
Yep.
We all look so sad. Doug, did you just pop in? Because we've been having the time of our life.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just address this. I'm going to address Doug. Hang on, Doug. Because this is annoying. So our comments range from you're laughing too much, you're a bunch of mean girls, cackling, blah, blah, to you need to smile more. So you need to shut up. There's not going to be like a happy medium for you between laughing and being serious when we're talking about a serious topic.
Right.
You're
Doug.
not a
Yeah,
serious
exactly.
person.
Yeah, we were talking about a human being hit by a car just now.
Yes.
Right.
Doug wants us to
So,
all
yeah.
be sitting
bet.
here like this.
Right.
Doug there with that selfie. He's like,
Right. We also don't exist to make you happy. So there's that.
Exactly.
We can't all be a Doug.
No,
Yeah,
we
we can't all be
No.
done. So, a couple good comments there. I don't know if anybody's starring comments. We might need to come back to some of these. These are good. Okay, so let me look. For Jam's redacted.
Yeah, I named it response unmarked.
I don't see it. I just see one that says Jenny Jams.
Hold on.
Is that it?
There you go.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what is the first page? I can barely see this thing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read this.
Yeah, it's right there. That's no.
Where's the first page where you have notes?
Go back.
Okay.
Page 2 or page 1. Yeah, there you go.
Oops, sorry. Okay, take it away.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull up my version. I had to.
This is the introduction. So you know it's going to be lit when we have to stop at the introduction.
Yeah. So basically, in the introduction, what they're saying is she had the an opportunity with her amended response, right? She didn't reply to the motion to dismiss. She filed an amended complaint. She had the opportunity with that I love the way they put it. She was given the full opportunity to cure her deficient pleading. She failed, and instead, she only made the case for dismissal stronger. So basically, you screwed up, Karen. And she said, or they say that the amended complaint, all it's doing is doubling down on the same conspiratorial fictions, the same baseless accusations, and it's bolstering accusations that are immune from liability based on hundreds of years of controlling precedent, and highlights that dismissal is not just appropriate, but unavoidable. And let me tell you, after reading through this, looking up a lot of the case law, having some of it explained to me, I don't know how it's not unavoidable, like they say.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So,
however, this is Massachusetts.
True.
So that's the only caveat. Anywhere else, this is dead and done. I think it will be tossed here as well because it's just it's absurd.
Yeah, and it is federal, so it's a little different.
It's a little different. So that's I think what we have to have faith in.
Yeah. So the bottom of paragraph 1 or page 1, it's basically naming all of the defendants that she has named. And it very simply says, each were questioned by the police about the events of January 29th. Each testified on behalf of the Commonwealth during at least one of the criminal trials. So obviously we know a few of them didn't testify in the second one. Mm-hmm. And for that and that alone, Ms. Reed is seeking civil money damages from each of them. And it continues on to page 2. It says each count is premised, so it goes through all the counts, on the same predicated conduct, speaking to police and testifying at trial. And this is going to be a huge point throughout this entire filing. The main, basically, she is trying to have them penalized for speaking to the police and testifying at a trial. Mm-hmm. They were subpoenaed to testify at a trial. They did their civic duty, and she wants them penalized.
Think about that, if for the future, if this was allowed to go forward, right? I mean, any defendant could sue the witnesses in their case.
Yeah, that's one of the notes I have on here as we get a little further into it. And they call it out very clearly for what it is, which is what we've all said. It is this amended complaint. It really just added to the initial complaint, and it's just a transparent act of revenge.
Yeah.
So, and again, they call it a work of conspiratorial fiction, devoid of any good faith basis in fact and law. And it really is. There's actually points in here where she's missing the actual claim. She doesn't even make an actual claim for some of these things. Go ahead. Yeah, go.
Oh, first, the pug is on your head. But,
You're the pug again, Carrie.
That's okay. I like it. That's okay.
and I was just going to say this exact thing, and I saw that Dreamboat Annie had also written it, but no one will ever want to willingly testify. It is a really great point. You cannot. It's retaliatory, is what it is. If you can just suddenly turn around and sue everyone who basically testified against you, it's insane.
Yeah.
And especially with, Jenny made this point that a lot of it is vaguely gesturing at a large group of people. It's not specific, provable claims. She's just saying, I don't know, 5 or more people may have done X, Y, Z. They may have, it's so bizarre. Again,
it is.
I can't imagine an attorney being like, sure,
Right.
I'll write that down. Yeah,
especially someone who works with numbers as her career. She seems to really have an issue with counting things and narrowing down on the number of things, like her drinks, narrowing down one or two drag the body out. Why wasn't it 3? But why wasn't it 3 people who dragged the body out? Why is it, it's like, where are these numbers? You're just making up.
It's because she doesn't want to ever commit to saying 9 people in the house did this because it's so preposterous, which is the only way this conspiracy works. If every single person in there was involved, and every single policeman that came upon this, and every single every MSP, every Canton. So that's why she can't do that, because it looks absolutely ridiculous. So she leaves it to just a couple, right? Because that's not ridiculous.
And why she left the medics out, and why she left the CERT team out. They all had to be in on it.
Everybody has to be in on it. Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why she's doing this, because this is the beginning of the end for her. She cannot prove any of this.
I think Truth just put up, Julie, right, that it's for revenge, which I agree with, but I also just really think she does not want to end up like OJ. So she, for some reason, lives in this bubble where she thinks that all of this PR matters in the end, and that she's going to get her movie deals and her book deals and whatever. So I feel like she's living in this like Twitter universe.
Yeah, I
don't know.
Didn't she make a comment too about like not feeling fulfilled after the trial or something like that, because she didn't have right. She didn't have like legal work to do.
Right.
Like, I mean, so it's like kind of like this is her life now.
Right.
Yeah, her purpose. She said that. And I don't know if I had any sympathy for her at this point. I would say there is one person who greatly benefited from the Hollywood part of this, and that is Alan Jackson. Alan Jackson already sold his rights. Alan Jackson already has that money. Karen doesn't, and Karen won't. And even if she did succeed, because she talks in Rotten Mango about, oh, well, I didn't know that in order to write a book that I had to have somebody willing to buy it. She says that in that interview. Yes. So she's, I think, struggling probably to get a publisher to accept it. I don't know that. I'm just surmising that from what she said.
Well, it probably comes a lot of legal backlash, right? If they help her with this book and she's got lawsuits pending, and what is she going to write in her book? She's going to accuse people of murder.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. Her claims are defamatory.
Right.
You're
right.
But AJ took the money and ran.
Yeah.
And that's a theme. So like if you just go back to the Trish Bdon thing, it's the same thing with Aiden. Everyone used Aiden. Karen Reed used Aiden. Alan Jackson used Aiden. Yannetti did. Trish Bdon did. He doesn't come out on top in any of these scenarios. And it hasn't occurred to him yet.
No.
That is actually what happened. They used him, and Alan Jackson and David Yannetti used Karen Reed.
And I think another huge point to make is, right, who wants to hear from her? Nobody wants to hear from Karen Reed.
No one.
They want to hear from Jen McCabe, Colin Albert, Brian. Nobody cares about Karen Reed anymore. I mean, as far as who's going to read Karen Reed's book?
No
I think
one.
people are on Karen Reed burnout, like we're all on,
Yeah.
I mean, like we are advocating for the witnesses,
Right.
and we have passion and motive here in trying to go through all the evidence and explain what was muddied in the press, all the lies, all the misinformation. I mean, we have the passion for this, but the average person, I mean, I feel like the average American is on massive Karen Reed burnout.
100%.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, even our, Tuesday, our little true crime group, they don't ever want to hear her voice again.
No.
Or
I mean,
Alan
who's more likable, Karen Reed or the witnesses? I mean, come on.
I think even her own, for terrible to say, but her own fan base is exhausted. She doesn't have, they're not as willing to give her money and do all these things for her now. And I think she's going to end up destroying herself, because this story can't go on. She should have just quietly gone away, but instead she does this because she's controlling and very spiteful. She's a very spiteful person.
And surrounded by a bunch of yes men. I feel like she's a narcissist. I actually believe she really still at this point, even though her vehicle data says, hey, when you were blackout drunk, yes, you reversed and your foggy memories are accurate. But she's like, no, half the town is framing me. I'm just too good of a person. I'm too amazing of a person that this just could not be possible. Like, I really think she's ingrained in this so much into her ego. And then she's surrounded by yes men. I mean,
her parents have done that all her life.
Parents, these high-priced attorneys that don't give a shit about her. They care about the money and the fame at this point, So she's a female Aiden in the sense of this dissociation of the crimes that they have committed, and the accountability behind them.
I think, and even Aiden says she's not a person anyone wants to be around. I mean, and he's still saying she's innocent, but he's like, she's crazy. So, and a lot of people in his comments say the same thing. They're like, dang, I don't like her. I can say this now that the trial's over. She's unlikable.
She is crazy. You can see it in this filing. She's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
A lot of this had to have come from her.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the part that's just so hard to digest as an attorney, is like, she's just typing through them. It's weird.
There's just such a stark contrast between the two filings. Her filing is it's very inflammatory, very dramatic. They're saying things that are just, as Yuri would say, they're preposterous. Mm-hmm. And then you read the witnesses, and if I had, needed an attorney, I certainly wouldn't want Karen's. They sound ridiculous. And then you read this, it's professional. It is, well put together. Whereas hers was like her fever dream somebody put down into a complaint.
Right. Yeah. It's a Turtle Boy blog.
One too many vodka shots.
Yeah. She was having doubles.
Yeah.
Triples.
Yep. So back to the complaint. So we're discussing anti-SLAPP statutes again. And some of this is repetitive, but I did make notes on maybe some of the stuff that's repetitive, just because maybe not everybody listened to our initial, like when we went over the first reply. So basically what they're saying is the only relevant conduct that she has in this complaint in connection with these 5 counts is the fact that the witnesses, again, she's trying to hold them liable for petitioning activity, which I'll discuss that in a minute. But just the only relevant thing is that they testified at a criminal trial, and they all spoke to the police on or around January 29th. So,
except for Nicole Albert, who wasn't even interviewed until after she was arrested and somehow still ends up in the complaint.
Right. So they're saying she can't meet her burden because she's trying to claim that their statements had no basis in fact whatsoever. And that's not true. And we're going to see why, they go more into that. And they mention on page 3 that even in the most favorable reading of her claims, the Supreme Court has expressly extended absolute immunity to protect witness statements that were made in any relation to the judicial process, including when witnesses are accused of having engaged in a conspiracy to prevent false testimony. So that's even, like they said, that's just the most favorable reading of it. I'm trying to see.
So is that basically like saying even if everybody's lying, you still can't?
Right. So they say that
you still can't sue someone for testimony.
Yeah. They say that later on. I actually have let me pull up my note here. I'll just explain it. So petitioning activity. A petitioning activity is testifying in court, talking to investigators, and providing statements in a official proceeding. Okay, that's all protected activity. That's all a petitioning activity.
Right.
So what the court basically has to look at is were any of these things petitioning activities? Well, we know they were, right? So the thing for Karen that sucks here is, and she's claiming all of these lies, all of these, all of this agenda on their parts, whatever, but she can't get past that first step. This is all protected activity. So even if they lied, even if they conspired together, we know they didn't. I mean, and there's plenty of footnotes saying like, hey, even if this continues, we can prove that this stuff isn't true. But even if they did, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Because this and that first step, she can't jump that first hurdle. Every single thing they did was a petitioning activity.
Right. So, and there are people who lied in their testimony, Arca. So it was such an interesting part of this filing because they are protected even if you believe her.
Yep.
Which is just, I mean, how do people come back against that immutable fact?
Right.
That even if you believe her, it has no legitimacy.
No, because then she now has the burden, right? So because all of those were petitioning activities, now the burden falls to her. And that is a high bar she has to reach. She has to prove these claims. She has to prove that everything she is saying is true. And not just that she believes they lied, not just that she believes they conspired. She has to show how they did it, step by step to the courts. And that's obviously a much harder hill for her to climb than, beyond a reasonable doubt in criminal court.
And she doesn't even make an attempt because her language is so vague. One or more people moved John O'Keefe's body to the lawn. Yep. That does not cut it. That does not
flat out have to say Jed McCabe moved his body. Brian Albert moved his body. And then prove it. Say that. Right. And then prove it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So basically, I mean, like we said, she can't just say they were lying, they had bad motives, because the way the court looks at it is it doesn't matter yet. First you got to jump that first hurdle, and she can't.
Right.
So, and now I've lost where I was at because I went off on a tangent.
There's just so much in here.
There's so much. I think we were on 3.
But Yeah, we're on 3, and at the bottom it says, "Make no mistake, on its face, this lawsuit is nothing more than an act of retribution brought against those who did nothing more than speak to police and testify for the Commonwealth at Miss Reed's criminal trials." And that's really the
Yeah.
one sentence summary of the entire document. That's what the complaint is an
Mhm.
act of retribution.
Yeah. I was actually just thinking, I meant to say this earlier when we were talking about it, about Boozy Beauty, not Boozy Beauty. What's the other one? Glamma Suit?
Boozy Susie.
Glamma, whatever.
Yeah.
Her, big thing that she published that now other people have been republishing and quoting to us and like, oh, look at all these lies. I mean, sorry, doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Even if you were right, which you're not,
Right.
even if you were right.
Right.
Sorry, Glamma Suze.
Right.
But it's an interesting, I mean, just to me, it's just legally interesting that, and I was trying to think of trials where I felt like witnesses were lying. But it is an interesting legal concept that
Mhm.
even if they were, even if they're just a bunch of nut jobs who went into court and did all of these crazy things, the Constitution sees this activity as sacred activity. Like
Yep.
you cannot mess with this critical part of the justice system where people have to be able to come in and tell their truth.
Because like we said before, and I mean, again, they mention it in here, no one would testify. No one would be a witness. They had to fear I can't even, I'm not saying that.
Retribution.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so frightening. It's so scary because you think about, I mean, I think actually each one of us have a story about a crime that we're familiar with, right? And you think about people not being able to come and tell the truth. It's terrifying. You think about Julie's story, and you can see why it is so important and so protected by the Supreme Court and
Of
the
course.
Constitution.
Yes. Which is why, like Jenny just said, or Lydia said it, her filing is so, it's like a Turtle Boy blog, like we said. It's so, it's all like a scandal and gossip and this and that. And this, all they have to do is it's the law. They can't get past that. They can't.
And even though they're protected, Massachusetts didn't protect them.
No, they really didn't.
No, they didn't.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We can go forward to page 8, just because a lot of this other stuff is like explaining.
It is very repetitive.
Yeah, like what we already know, like what the claims are, with what happened and all of that.
Right.
And then page 8 gets into more detail with the anti-SLAPP. Basically saying like the traditional categories of petitioning activity, which we already talked about, is reporting a violation of the law, writing to government officials, attending public hearings, and testifying before government bodies. So they're just defining it again. Like everything these people did was a petitioning activity, which is super important with anti-SLAPP. Let's see.
And the place this appears the most, like in just an application that we've all heard of or seen, in crime shows, is gang type activity. So it's most often organized crime and gangs that attempt to suppress the testimony of witnesses, even in low level crimes. So a lot of federal cases are about drugs and gangs. And so even if you just have someone who is, distributing drugs for a higher level drug dealer, that's where these kind of chilling effects, you see them the most often. And it's kind of frightening that that is the parallel in this case, in just a straightforward, she was drunk, she hit him, she left him to die. And all of a sudden it's turned into a gang tactic to stifle and chill petitioning activity. It's scary.
Yep. Yeah. And on page 9, they're talking about what we were just saying. If the moving party meets the burden, meaning if they meet the burden of, if they qualify under that petitioning activity, the second stage shifts to the opposing party. So that would be Karen. And she has to show by a preponderance of the evidence that each Commonwealth witnesses petitioning activities were devoid of any reasonable factual support or arguable basis in law and caused actual injury to her. So, and they go on saying that, you know, each state claim law against them is based on this activity. So she's claiming that she was injured because of her arrest, indictment, and prosecution. The only alleged conduct by each Commonwealth witness relevant to this injury is the fact that each gave information to police and testified at her trials. So just repeating that again. Trying to get to some of my juicy notes.
That's what I want.
Okay, so then we go into each person. So we're going to Nicole, and you know, we talked about this on our initial one. She's trying to claim, she has to prove that she was maliciously targeted, you know, whatever, like basically that their statements, their false statements and their lies and all of this led to her arrest. Well, right. Nicole Albert didn't even interview with the police until Karen had already been arrested. So February 3rd.
It doesn't even make any sense.
It's right. So funny though, because she knows that now because it's already been filed. Mm-hmm. So why is it in the amended complaint?
She still kept it, right?
She kept it. Why?
Well, it goes back to their initial. Yeah, it goes back to their initial paragraph. She had the chance to fix this stupidity, and she didn't. She just added to it.
Mm-hmm. Poor Nicole. I mean, it's just that this part of that just drives me nuts that she didn't even testify or didn't even get interviewed until after Karen was arrested, and she shows up not once but twice.
Yeah.
Isn't Higgins the same? Wasn't he interviewed after?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was also the third. Yeah. I have to go look, but I'm pretty sure it was the same with him. The third. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she's alleging that Nicole falsely told police on February 3rd that John did not enter the home on January 29th, or her house on January 29th. And she testified at the first trial, and that this statement and her testimony caused damages. So, and then this is what we were talking about earlier. She does not allege that Nicole relocated Officer O'Keefe's body. Rather, she simply speculates that one or more of the Commonwealth witnesses relocated the body. For the court to draw inferences in favor of a plaintiff, the complaint must allege facts linking each defendant to the grounds on which that particular defendant is potentially liable. So this is what I was saying earlier. She doesn't even have these complaints fully complained. She doesn't even have like all the information she needs to bring these complaints in the filing.
It's almost like she wants to smear the witnesses once again, like as her last FU, because she was the defendant in the criminal trial, and she wants to make these people the defendant in a trial. And this is all just, it makes her story even worse, because it's like, obviously she's doing the whole song and dance, trying to point fingers and sensationalize this, knowing that people, her supporters and everyone, is going to read this, sensationalize it, and applaud her. But you know, when you break it down and you start reading through and you're asking these questions, I mean, it just makes her look more and more guilty.
Also, though, why is she only saying, you know, or suing Nicole, Brian, Jen, Matt, saying, that they said John didn't come to the house. I mean, what about Caitlin Albert, Brian Albert Jr., Sarah Levinson, Julie Nagel? Where are they?
Yeah, where are they?
Where are they?
Yeah. Well, these people that she named, they are the main focus of her fury, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, we've seen them. They're the most attacked by the pink mob, and the reason for that is because of Karen.
Right.
But Karen had herself and had Aiden attack Julie Nagel.
Yeah, true.
And
Yeah.
Tristan. I mean, they all went after Tristan. So it is weird that she's got this nebulous one or more at some points in here, but then she doesn't even include people who were there.
Mm-hmm.
I have a
Because
question.
it would look even worse. It would look, imagine if she had, numbers of, if she had 9 people. It looks
Yeah.
even ridiculous now, but imagine with 9.
Yeah, I mean, she'd have to add even more to that.
Right.
At some point, she has to. Oh, that's awful. They
Sarah
hate
Levinson?
Sarah.
Losers.
They're such terrible people.
I have a question real quickly. So the last YouTube live that you guys did, I was not there and I watched it. I can't remember. Did you guys cover the whole lawyer
We did not.
No.
Did we talk
The
about it?
retraction? Are you talking about the retraction?
Oh, the lawyer, that. I think we talked about it at the end.
Yes, I think we talked about it.
Yeah, I was stuck on something else. I thought you meant loophole lawyer. I'm like, no, we did not talk about that guy.
Oh.
Yeah, no, we talked about it at the end.
Lawyers.
Gotcha. Good.
There's a footnote here on page 11 too.
Okay.
Just basically saying, lest there be any doubt, the amended complaint also admits any allegations relating to anyone allegedly moving Officer O'Keefe's body from the 1983 conspiracy claim, and that one is not even subject to anti-SLAPP statute. So she
Right.
leaves it out there too, and she doesn't have that anti-SLAPP burden with that claim,
Mhm.
but she still left it out.
Right.
Page 12 goes into MCRA violation. Let me see what note I have here. Let's see. This is a footnote for. Okay, yeah, I have a note with this footnote, but this actually is still under the other complaint. So the sentence here is, at best, that allegation is intended to show that the statements made by Miss Albert to the police were false and intended to cover up her own culpability. So basically, Karen is trying to say she lied, and it's because she was trying to cover up what she had done. So the footnote is, Miss Reed's suggestion that the Commonwealth witnesses are responsible for Officer O'Keefe's death is irresponsible, knowingly false, and defamatory.
Mhm.
So we're going to see, I don't remember. Do you guys remember if defamatory was in the last filing as much as it is this time around?
I don't remember it, but
I don't either. Yeah, I don't either. But they're saying, so to deflect her responsibilities, Karen has conspired with others to engage in a scheme to defame and injure the Commonwealth witnesses. Most importantly, Miss Reed has not pled a cause of action against any of them relating
Carrie,
to.
you're muted. Sorry, Carrie looked like she was talking, but
No, that's okay. That's okay.
okay.
So most importantly, she's not filed a wrongful death suit against them for
Right.
John's death. So,
that was such an interesting part of this
Mhm.
footnote.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Notes is just, I mean, I hadn't even considered the fact
I hadn't either.
that she should do that if that's what she's actually claiming.
Right.
That because she's saying she's an injured party,
Right.
why hasn't she done that?
Yep.
Right.
If that's what she thinks. Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
It's a great point.
It is a great point.
So they just go on to the only alleged conduct against Nicole
Cats.
that's relevant to this count that could amount to threats, intimidation, or coercion is that Miss Albert falsely told the police that Officer O'Keefe did not enter 34 Fairview and testified at the criminal trial. That conduct is plainly petitioning activity and petitioned by the anti-SLAPP statute. So again, even if Nicole lied, she didn't, but even if she did,
Right.
she
Protected.
is protected under that petitioning activity.
And
I
what
mean,
Nicole is really
Karen should be
doing.
suing herself, right? Because she's the first person that told everyone John never went in the house.
Mhm.
She is. She told the police that.
Right. Weird.
It is weird.
Yeah.
And what Nicole was actually doing was the dishes and cleaning up while
Cleaning up after everyone, right?
Yeah,
Probably
throwing away the
wishing
empty.
everyone would leave.
Probably. Yeah. And trying to make it so that she didn't have 18 beer bottles to throw away in the morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what Nicole was actually doing.
Yep. Yeah. They go on to say on page 14 that, you know, as with all the other counts, they're going into like she's claiming intentional infliction of emotional distress, civil conspiracy, blah, blah, blah. Just basically same thing. She includes no specific factual allegations. It's all just someone did something.
Mhm.
And you cannot do that with these filings. So there's no specific allegations against Nicole outside of her petitioning activity that would support a conspiracy. So then they go on to Matt. Poor Matt.
Poor Matt.
Oh, poor Matt.
And it's kind of the same thing. Matt's really short. He doesn't get a lot of attention again. Sorry, Matt.
Sorry, Matt.
Yeah. Just basically like Nicole, generalized and speculative claims, and she can't do that. Then we move to Jen. Poor Jen.
Poor Jen.
Jen has the longest paragraph, but
she does.
If only Jen had do not disturb on that
I know.
morning. We never heard that phone call.
Right?
Jen is truly the biggest finger pointed at her. And in the whole entire conspiracy, she really was like not involved in the conspiracy.
Right.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
So
It
weird.
just goes to show how much Karen really wanted to retaliate against Jen.
yeah. Well, I mean, and that's what this says in the first paragraph, the amended complaint, because she did amend a lot of the stuff with Jen. Remember, 227 was not in the last filing.
Right.
She added it to this amended complaint.
Yeah. Which is just so pathetic.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And the very first sentence is saying that this amended complaint reflects her desire, her extraordinary desire for revenge against Jen.
Yeah.
So
This has always been, I mean, it's really interesting how, I mean, I think even, you know, the intermediary between Aiden and Karen had said that like Jen McCabe was her target from day one.
yeah, laser focus eyes on Jen.
Yeah.
I mean, why though? Why was it Jen?
Because
Just like-
Jen,
Yeah.
I think she's jealous of Jen. Jen's,
She
you
felt
know,
betrayed by Jen for not
I don't
backing
think
her
so.
up.
I think Jen loved John, and that is the source of the ire. You know, she was a person that had a normal life. She wasn't calling people 52 times a day when she was in a fight with them. She was, you know, beautiful, successful, everything Karen was not.
I think it's always the woman, right? Like, I think she knew
Yeah.
that this would fly, that this would take off the way it did. And I mean, think
That's
about
a
it. Jen
really
is the
great
villain.
point.
Yeah, she's even the
Goes
villain
after
over
women.
the man.
Yeah, she always goes after women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great point.
Yeah, and I mean, it just goes on to say that just like Nicole, just like Matt, her statements to law enforcement and her trial testimony are core petitioning activities.
Mhm.
So that it rendering the state law claims against her barred under Massachusetts anti-SLAPP law. So flat out barred under that law.
Yeah. And Nosy just made a really great point, which we always forget, but she said Jen is literally the first person that morning that ruined Karen's alibi, right? Karen's whole plan
True.
was, I left John at the waterfall.
True.
If Jen hadn't seen them outside, this was game over. No one would have known that she was, I mean, eventually they would have found her taillight. But she is the first person that was like, no, you didn't leave him there. We saw you out front. So I think that's where a lot of her anger
I mean,
comes
I think that's maybe possibly Karen sees that as betrayal, right? Like it is a betray. Why would you go to the police and say that I was saying I hit him? Like, why would you expose me that way type thing,
But what's crazy is Jen and Carrie both kind of, chilled her, she was saying, I hit him. And they're like, shut up. You didn't.
Right.
And then I cracked my taillight. And then they're like, don't worry about it. We'll go look for John. I mean, both of them kind of put
all things you do when you're framing someone. All things you do when you're
Of course. It's the first thing you do when you're framing someone.
The first thing you
Make
do
sure
is
they
tell
don't
the person to
incriminate
stop
themselves.
talking when they're
Right.
admitting to it.
Right. I mean, it's ridiculous. But she's also projecting a little bit. So everything that she says Jen is, that's what she is.
Yep. Yeah. So again, her assertions that Jen's statements to police and trial testimony were false and motivated to cover up Jen's own involvement in his death does not save her claims, because again, we go back to the petitioning activity. And I've already explained all that. This is where I had the note to explain it, but we already talked about it. So,
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh,
yeah, I liked this comment. So Miss Reed merely alleges mundane conduct by Miss McCabe that is not relevant to any of the counts asserted. For example, this is part of the mundane comments conduct. Miss Reed alleges that Miss McCabe was okay. This has been on Twitter, and I'm sorry. I remember reading. I think Camo broke it down, and I'm like, "What are you talking about? Wildly active." So I am so glad they brought this out, because I was looking at everything he broke down, and I'm like, no. But anyway, so they say, for example, Miss Reed alleges that Miss McCabe was wildly active during the early morning hours of January 29th. Putting aside the characterization, the factual allegations reflect ordinary conduct. Miss Reed alleges Miss McCabe returned to her home at 2:12 a.m. Oh my God. I mean, wild. I mean, I don't stay out that late. Jen, that's kind of late. I don't stay out that late.
You do when you're here.
I do, yes. Oh, the only time I do is in Boston. Yeah, apparently that's a Boston.
Yeah, otherwise, Ginny and I, we're in bed at
we're checked out. We are so checked out.
I had Ginny and Julie. They were out till pretty late.
Yeah. So she returned to her home at 2:12 a.m. She spent 13 minutes walking around her house.
How dare she?
Right?
How dare
Karen Reed people, they go right home and they go right into their room.
they just shoot into their bed?
They float. They float. No steps.
They don't even undress. They just straight
they just go to bed. They just go to bed.
So spent 13 minutes walking around her house, stopped moving, and opened her iPhone for approximately 6.5 minutes. And then, guys, then she closed her phone and she moved for 1 minute before settling back down.
It's outrageous.
She
was an outrageous person.
That is so embarrassing. I mean, how Free Karen Reed has been all over that for 3 years. How crazy that is.
Wildly active. She's running around like a wild animal.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lydia or Kate had a really good tweet about this
today. Yeah, I said it. Yeah. I mean, it was like an attorney explaining how people go to bed after they go.
It's pathetic. It is pathetic. Like, we have to explain everything to you, including how to go to bed, Free Karen Reed.
Go to bed.
Get
to
a grip.
come into your house, put your shit down for a minute, wash your face, and then get in bed and lock your phone.
But
Like,
God
that is
forbid,
news to
I-
free
oh my
Karen
God.
Reed.
God
Why
forbid
do you have to explain this shit?
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah. I'll say, but God forbid we go over the text stream data of the vehicle's computer system showing the car reversing, and it's like totally normal.
Nope.
Totally
Totally
normal. Yeah.
normal,
Totally normal.
kids.
Did you see what Jen did when she got home?
Oh my God. 13
Yeah.
minutes of moving around her
She
house.
closed her phone.
It's batshit crazy.
It's so insane. I mean, you got to explain snow, how snow works to them,
Yeah.
how people go to bed.
Yeah, they don't understand. Don't understand that snow. We might have to do like a magic school bus episode.
Yes, we need a magic school bus on how to go to bed.
I can't even imagine if my like steps were like,
Oh my gosh.
I literally walk back and forth before I go to bed because I
too.
forget something. I do like I mean, you guys know how I am. Like I shared a hotel room with Ginny. She's in bed and I'm like walking back and forth to the, doing like I cannot believe anyone finds this nefarious.
And we have an open floor plan, and sometimes I'm just like in a mode
It's
and
like
I'll
wandering.
you just like go in a loop and you're
Right.
like, why did I do this? Why did I walk around the
Right.
entire house when I could have just gone directly to where I was going?
Yeah. Usually we
Right.
have to wake up like at some point, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to let at least one
Dog.
dog out.
Right.
I mean, I would be in jail.
You'd probably be in jail.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I would be in jail.
Yeah, you're a murderer.
Yeah.
You're
And I
definitely-
mean, how dare she go on her phone for 6 minutes? What was she doing?
I know.
It's
what a
ridiculous.
monster.
Yeah.
And they find her evil. I mean, it's really crazy. They find her evil. And it's like, how do you find her evil?
Right.
If it's the only moments you could even really analyze of hers is the 227, right? Which has been debunked.
Mhm.
And then her first trial, which is clear that she is being questioned by a man who had ties to her family being harassed. I mean, she really was put in a situation where they wanted her to be mad and upset.
Yep.
And I mean, I almost wonder if that was part of Alan Jackson's hopes, is that they would shame them so much that she would look mad on the stand. And I'm so glad that they opened that door. Alan Jackson accidentally opened the door, and she could explain the abuse that happened at her family and Alan Jackson's ties to the man that's harassing her.
Mhm.
And the fact that he lied during that. So he opened the door, she walked through it, and then he tries to like clap back at her and say, well, it wasn't me. I don't have social media. And then she says the blogger, but then we went and found all of his social media, his Twitter account. I videoed his entire Facebook feed. The man is a liar.
Yeah.
And then
It was
also,
very easy
you
to
remember in the second trial how mad he was that she was more herself, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, they'd have been through this for 3 years now, and now it was the first trial, she was literally fighting for her life and her family's life, right?
Yeah, and
They
terrified, I'm sure.
they had just been through, I mean, they still are, but that was the worst of the worst, right? We've been watching, all of the old stuff.
I mean, receiving a photo of your child with what looks like semen on it, that is a horrendous. I mean, I can't even imagine how angry and horrified Jen was.
And those were daily, right? Coming to them daily.
Yeah.
This was daily. Yep.
Yep.
I mean, the
And-
Testify account, those unhinged videos, that's what they were getting every day. Physical letters to their houses.
Yes. So he was so mad in the second trial. Remember he asked her, did someone tell you to go in yourself? He was so angry that
He was mad he couldn't get to her.
Yeah,
He was mad he could not get to her.
And the irony
he won
that
both trials against him.
Yeah.
Easily.
the irony that Karen left those voicemails, right? Like, John, I fucking hate you. And then people are like totally normal. They were in a fight, and justify this like behavior that happens at the exact time that John takes his last steps, within a range of time. And it's like, here's Jen who's being abused by her people who are harassing her on a daily basis. And she gets on the stand and she's assertive about this whole entire situation. And they're like, she is so evil. She's a bitch. It's like, she was so gaslit.
Yes.
Yes, she was.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that, right? I mean, Karen's leaving these disgusting voicemails, absolutely disgusting, and they're mad that Jen was walking around her house for 13 minutes that night.
Right. Exactly. That's Jen's crime. Is going to bed.
Yeah. And going on her phone.
And Karen's like, my civil rights about my phone. You can't get into my phone. Right. And it's like, bitch, you are literally like going through every little millisecond of everybody's phone, right? It's
crazy.
Like, it's crazy.
It's crazy town.
And then the hypocrisy of the whole extraction gate too. When you think about it, you're like, wait a minute. I thought that's what you guys liked. I thought you liked going through everybody's phone. What's wrong? Are you okay?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So 16, here's where they bring 227 back. Well, they're responding to her bringing it back. Right. Karen alleges that at 2:27 a.m., Miss McKay performed a Google search on her phone stating how's long to die. It says again, this allegation, the footnote comes next. This allegation has no good faith basis in fact or law. And then the footnote talks about, the second criminal trial, how it wasn't disputed by the defense team, right? They didn't bring Richard Green back. They didn't dispute the finding that it actually happened at 6:24.
Right. So, is he on a milk carton now, Richard Green? Where is Richard Green?
Yeah.
It is so funny they brought this back, right? Because I mean, not that this is going to go to trial, but if it ever did, they would have no one to testify to this.
No.
Ever. Because no one would ever touch this.
No. And it says again, it has no good faith basis in fact or law. Even and it says, nevertheless, it still does not salvage her claim. So even if 2:27 a.m. search was legit, it had nothing to do with Karen Reed's prosecution. They didn't even. She had already been arrested. They didn't even know about this search until when was it again? Julie, you know better than I do. You're Julie.
That's a Julie question.
March 5th, 2023.
Yeah, there you go.
Damn.
I mean, that's amazing, Julie.
Julie is our librarian.
I knew she would know.
He's like, I'll call her Julie ChatGPT. No, Julie.
Yes. Julie GPT.
So she had already been initially arrested. She had already been charged by a grand jury and upcharged, right? Before they even knew about this search. So it literally had nothing to do with her prosecution.
Right.
Nothing.
That's a great point.
Timelines are always a bit of a bitch for Karen.
Yeah.
Not really good at timelines.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically she's trying to say they got me falsely arrested, right? And then she's trying to throw in, and also someone suspiciously Googled something at 2:27, right? The court's going to be like, cool story, bro. Still doesn't prove that caused, like she cannot prove that caused her arrest. So it's not relevant. It does not help this case survive. That 2:27 that she just had to throw in there for the pink people does nothing for her case. Zilch.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
They just needed to bring it back for like Jenny said, for all the
for the PR,
the mob.
Yeah, well, we pointed out, how many times did we point out that it was gone?
That it wasn't in
the first motion, right?
The mob loves 227.
They do.
I mean, they bought shirts for it, so you got to keep it going.
Right.
And Aiden's still wearing those shirts, right? Isn't he still? wearing the Google shirt?
Yeah.
So I think he did wear it the other day, right?
He needs to put some Hanes shirts on his Amazon wish list that he has out there. Change up the wardrobe a little bit.
After he gets the garbage bags.
Yep. So here's another timeline thing. Like you said, Lydia, she's got some problems with numbers and timelines and all of that. Again, they just bring out again that she says in a general way, one or more of the Commonwealth witnesses relocated John's body. She does not allege that Jen specifically did it, which so she can't do that. And then it says the amended complaint alleges that at approximately 2:12 a.m., Miss McCabe arrived at her home and remained there until she was visited by, I would have added a screaming lunatic, Miss Reed at 5 a.m. Further, Miss Reed alleges, again, without any good faith basis in fact or law, that Officer O'Keefe was not located on the lawn at 34 Fairview until after 3:30 a.m. As such, Miss Reed's allegations exclude Miss McCabe and her husband from any role in the alleged relocation of Officer O'Keefe's body. Right?
Yeah. How do we explain that?
Mm-hmm. Yep. They were already at home. So how can you be including her in that claim when you say he wasn't even on the lawn until after 3:30?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And now we're down to, who are we down to? Brian, Nicole. I think that's it, right? They got to be down to Brian and Nicole if it was after 3:30.
And
yeah.
Brian Wilbur Jr., but he's not in the lawsuit.
He's not in the suit.
How do they bring Lucky into this if they're trying to say like,
Right. That's the other point.
Yep. Then we move on to Brian Albert. So, again, just like his wife and McCabe's, every claim against Mr. Albert is based solely on his petitioning activity and should be dismissed under anti-SLAPP. So it brings out here the only unique allegation against him is that months after she was arrested and indicted, he allegedly destroyed his phone, which Miss Reed alleges eliminated potentially incriminating communications. Again, even if he did, it doesn't matter. He didn't, but even if he did, it doesn't matter, Karen, because that is not what caused your indictment, your arrest, or your prosecution. His phone, you not having access to his phone, you not having his phone, led to none of that.
And what's crazy is this firm that is representing her is a Massachusetts firm. How do they not know the anti-SLAPP? How do they not know it?
They know it. They just don't care.
Yeah.
She's probably screaming at them.
Yeah.
All
He
this stuff.
pervert, put it in there.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, they bring out, much like Jen's Google search, this allegation is false and it's a red herring. It's, again, this is for the mob. Hey, look, guys, he destroyed his phone. I'm saying it again. If we say it, enough times over and over and over again, everyone will believe it.
Yeah.
So
destroying?
She's not wrong.
No, she's not. They did that very effectively.
No.
Yep. And it brings out, again, I don't even know if I've told you what page I'm on. I'm on 18 now.
Yeah, we're on 18.
Okay, good. I'm looking at mine, so I can't see.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, I am due for a phone destroying.
Oh.
I am. I've had my iPhone for a couple years now, and it's like, when you get the software update and then your phone goes all wonky, which I'm like,
yeah, that's where I am too.
Anyways, I'm going to let Verizon know that I am due for the destroying.
Yes.
And I'm going to see how they respond because I'm just super curious.
That's what we should call it from now on when we get a new phone. I destroyed my phone.
Destroying.
Phone destroying.
I'm actually just going to send mine to Brian Albert. I'm not even going to try to do it myself. So, yeah.
And they bring out this point, which I think they had this in the last one. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they did, that the complaint, the amended complaint, it omits that she didn't have the right to any of his information, right? She's trying to claim that that she has the right to sue him for this, but he had no duty to give it to her.
Correct.
And
Canoni agreed.
Right. Canoni agreed. Canoni denied it. It says, let's see, hold on. Mr. Albert had no duty to give Miss Reed any alleged incriminating evidence, did not receive a subpoena for those records, and was never ordered to produce any phone records to Miss Reed. On the contrary, on October 5th, 2022, Judge Canoni denied Reed's motion for a subpoena to access Mr. Albert and Mr. Higgins' phones. So she found that basically the court, she wasn't satisfied that the phones contained any type of evidentiary or relevant information, which, duh.
Right.
That's the, what is it? That's Lampron, right? Isn't that
Right.
like,
It was Lampron, which is why she's so mad at Lampron.
oh my God, she hates Lampron.
She does.
Hates it. She wants to get it abolished.
Yep. So again, even if it has zero bearing, it destroyed it, it has zero bearing on the allegations that she's bringing, right? Now we move on to Higgins. Yes, and he was interviewed on February 3rd. So just like Nicole, she had already been arrested. So that alone absolves him of this claim that she's making, because his interview had nothing to do with her arrest. She was already in her chains. Let me see. Okay, and so in the amended complaint, she is bringing up his phone as well. As it says, the amended complaint admits that Mr. Higgins maintained his old phone until at least October 2022, months after Miss Reed was arrested and indicted by a grand jury. Thus, even assuming that Mr. Higgins destroyed his phone at the time, which is disputed, that act could not have contributed to law enforcement's decision to charge and prosecute Miss Reed. Therefore, it does not prevent application of the anti-SLAPP statute. So, and then they've got a footnote here, should this case proceed to discovery, evidence will show he actually preserved his original phone and retained it for approximately 3 months after learning that the state court issued a preservation order and denied Miss Reed's motion for a subpoena. So, again, phone doesn't matter.
Right.
And there, yeah, so. Okay, and also with him, she admits in other portions of the complaint that Higgins left 34 Fairview hours prior to when she's claiming John's body was moved to the lawn, right? We know, like he was on video at Canton PD around, what time was it? Like 1:30, I think it was.
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Yeah.
he murdered John, and then he was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the police station and just go do something super shady right in the Sally Port.
After I
yeah.
badged in
On camera.
on camera.
Yeah, it does say here 1:30 a.m. with nobody on the front lawn of 34 Fairview at 2:30 a.m. So
But that's why she needs Nicole in this so badly.
yeah,
I
I guess
know.
so.
Yeah.
Oh, good point.
Yeah. That's why she needs Nicole.
Yeah.
Because no one else was there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Unless the neighbor came over and helped.
We're going to have to start bringing them in. Sorry, guys. So they make a huge point here. I have boom written next to it. Starting at the bottom of 20 and leading into 21, Miss Reed cannot rebut or show any petitioning activity was devoid of factual basis, which she would have to do, right? Since this is exactly what Reed told the police on January 29, 2022, that John did not enter the house. So nothing they said conflicts with what she told the police.
Right.
That's why I don't get it. I do not
So
get
she
it.
should be included in this lawsuit.
Yeah.
Well, why isn't everyone mad at her? She's
Right.
the first one that said John didn't go in the house.
Yep.
Jenny, is Karen saying she has proof Brian Higgins went back to the house after the police station, or does she just skip over that?
No, she doesn't say that anywhere in here. Yeah.
She just ignores it.
Yeah. We just wash it away.
It's like Mad Libs. You just fill in the blank. Whatever you want to.
Use your own adventure unless it
Yeah.
points back to
Take her
Karen
own
Reed.
adventure.
Yeah.
But butt dials, guys. Butt dials.
Right.
I mean, so incriminating.
Yeah, so incriminating.
Let me see. Okay, and she brings up the health data, right? We've talked about that. She alleges in her amended complaint that, oh, I'm sorry, Lydia, I'm on page 22 now.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries.
I kind of skipped over some of this because it's like it's
okay.
repetitive and stuff we know. She's claimed, so we talked about this a little bit on our other show. I think I had this part actually, where she's claiming that he had just enough distance to get from the driveway into the house.
Just enough to just put a foot in.
The house or the garage?
For her, yeah, right. There's several issues with this, right? So unfortunately for her, he was found by the flagpole. So that's even further. And didn't she say she found him where she was
Expecting to find him?
I found him where he was expected to be, or expected to find
right, and where I last saw him, or where I dropped him off, or something like that.
What else could it have been?
I mean, don't you feel like that meme where it's like the weird cat monkey that's just like, hello? I mean, this lady's literally telling you she knows what happened. And they're like, she's innocent. She's framed.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I just love that she told Dennis Murphy, I don't know what else could have been. Me neither, Karen.
Yeah.
I want to know because she thought maybe I clipped him, maybe I hit him, maybe I whatever.
Tagged him in the knee.
And then it's like, okay, Karen, when did you decide that no, it's absolutely impossible for you to have done that? What was it, Karen? Like, I really want that to be in her deposition.
Oh, that's a great question. I bet they'll definitely ask her that question. That's a great question.
Yes. If anyone's listening, please add
That's
that.
a great question. Yeah, when did that change?
Yeah, when did it change?
I think when
What
David
was
Yannetti told her she would have culpability.
Yep.
Or
Yes.
when her and
Yes.
her dad were taking everything but the one item out of the house and running back to Dighton.
Well,
Or was it the gravelly voice?
She says what Julie just says. It was right when Yannetti said you'll have culpability. Remember, she says, I don't know, I thought, could I have, and she hits that kind of tagged him.
Yep.
Yep.
And then David says, yeah, you'd have some culpability. And then
She says she thought about it for a few days.
yeah, I thought about it for a few days.
Do I want to go to prison?
Yeah. And I came up with a really great plan.
Or
And I started stalking everyone on social media.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's a really good clip? And I think Julie played it once when she did, remember that great show about the Reed family? When it was Nathan, right, Julie, that said, Karen looked at her father and said, Dad, what's the plan?
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
I mean,
oh, go ahead.
Call
Sorry.
your dad at 1 a.m. Why are you doing that?
Mm-hmm. So what they're trying to prove here, which I forgot to mention, is that, or what they're trying to show here, is that her claim that their petitioning activity lacked any reasonable basis in fact is not true, right? So they bring up this health data and they themselves say, like in this, the problem here is that Officer O'Keefe and his phone were found by the flagpole on the front lawn. Thus, even disregarding Karen's misrepresentation of the Apple health data, the fact that there was just enough distance to get into the house garage, where dog house, neighbor's house, whatever she's claiming.
Tim Albert's pool.
Yeah, I mean, whatever she's claiming at this
The
point.
basement's over now, right? That's out, right?
Yeah, that's out.
Okay.
I saw the basement today on Twitter. So,
But as far as this Looney Tune complaint, like the basement's over, right?
I think it is.
Yeah, I
Like,
haven't.
there's no way, right?
Yeah.
Alan Jackson has to be so pissed
Okay.
after his dramatic reenactment.
So does Nick Rocco, because he said that they found 3 liters of John's blood in the basement.
That's right.
So
Isn't
he,
that really like
really-
4
he must be mad.
liters of blood in a human body? Or am I making that up? I don't know. I mean, that's a lot of blood.
I mean, he told us on Court TV, he told Vinny, and Vinny
Yeah.
was like, wow.
Do you remember the video he posted standing in their bedroom, Nicole and Brian's bedroom,
No.
pointing his camera out at the lawn while
Yes.
I think
Yes,
it was
yelling.
Jackson was on the lawn yelling, and he's like,
With
"What
no
is
snow.
here?"
No snow, no sound barrier out there. He's like right on the lawn, like
Oh my God, those pictures were hilarious.
I cannot.
and you actually
you hear.
it really was hard to kind of hear him too. And there wasn't even
Right.
sound barrier.
Yeah, and then imagine you have snow and like you're sleeping.
Wind,
You wouldn't hear anything.
blizzard.
Oh, a blizzard.
Actually, I think we had 42-mile-per-hour winds that night. I'm pretty sure, and it might have been like 30, but we had really, really high winds that night too. Not even just regular blizzard winds, like really high winds that night.
Karen says the winds were howling.
Yes,
Mhm.
you can hear it in the when the dash cam.
Yeah.
Oh, there are 8 to 10 pints of blood in an adult body.
Okay.
Wait, so now we got to convert that to metric? That is rude. I need Nosy to tell us what that is in metric. I don't know what that means.
So another claim that Karen is making is that Jen falsely told police that Miss Reed made inculpatory statements the morning of January 29th. But again,
Where are the
can't meet-
medics? Where are the medics?
Right. Exactly. She cannot meet her burden here because her burden that to show that Jen's statement was devoid of any factual basis because enter Katie,
Yes.
Canton firefighter Katie, who she was also at 34 Fairview. We all know what she testified to. She testified that she too heard Karen saying, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. And she also testified that Jen was trying to get Karen to shut up because she thought Karen was being nuts. So
Did they mention the 2 other medics that said I hit him? I hit him.
no, they just
Okay.
mentioned.
I mean, there's even 2 more.
Well, it says several individuals,
Oh,
but they
okay.
specifically they're giving the example.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
So, because yes, there were others.
Right.
Let's see what other notes I have. Okay, so 22 going into 23. This is the section, the case against the Commonwealth witnesses should be dismissed pursuant to federal, and they list a statute. So it says one of the standards is that the court has to determine if the facts alleged plausibly narrate a claim for relief. So the court has to basically distinguish the factual allegations from the conclusory legal allegations. So basically what this paragraph is saying, just to make it simple because it's kind of confusing, or it's kind of, there's a lot of legal terms, whatever. This rule prevents lawsuits from surviving just because they sound serious, which was her whole goal, right? She tried to make this sound really serious. And so what this is saying is you can't just try to make something sound super serious. You have to deal in real facts. You have to logically point to legal liability, the legal liability of these people. You can't just use strong words, big accusations, and all of these suspicious vibes like what she does. So that's what this is saying, that the court has to consider this. It's not a factually based lawsuit. It's based on Karen's revolving whatever's going on up here. I don't know what it is. Something odd and not normal.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And they say at the bottom of 23, they're talking about how all the claims brought against the Commonwealth witnesses are shielded by the doctrine of absolute immunity. And I liked this paragraph because this says her original complaint, she only hinted that her
Sorry.
claims.
This is how I imagine the judge reading this, by the way.
Yeah,
Just
totally. I mean, it's a
oh,
fever
did I
dream.
just lose the whole thing? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It's just, I just have to do that again.
I thought it went on top of it.
Oh, no, you did. You lost it. Go ahead. Put it up. Whatever you're putting up, go ahead.
Oh no, I just was like, this is how I
yeah.
imagine the judge reading this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I read it. I don't even smoke and I wanted to.
Right.
I mean, it's just great. It's so
Crazy.
unhinged.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. Lydia, can you? Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So hold on, let me pull mine back up here. Okay. So yeah, I liked this because this is saying that her original complaint only hinted that her claims might be premised on their prior testimony against her, but the amended complaint confirms it beyond question. So
Yeah.
she flat out is confirming, yes, I'm suing them because they testified against me.
Mhm.
So yeah, so
That
basically,
is bananas.
yeah.
I mean, again, where are it's like with Richard Allen, where are the people who are supposed to be advocating for her attorneys? They're doing her a disservice by allowing her to do this, in my opinion.
I think they are so caught up, Lydia, in this, PR.
glamour.
Yeah, like they're just seeing this for whatever reason, this like
Well, I'm sure their business is
I don't
probably.
know. I don't know what they're thinking, but they're caught up in all this. It's crazy.
I mean, their business has probably gone up substantially because they're representing her, right? I mean, I would assume like a lot of these people think they're really doing something here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's just an assumption on my part.
I'm just too black and white for that because I think that as an attorney, I mean, you just have a higher duty.
No, of course.
Your
You would be saying to your client, we can't put this in here.
We can't because it doesn't serve your interests.
Right.
It's not,
Right.
but it's so upsetting.
They overpromise the public.
Right.
Yes.
In a way, right? And it's like now they gotta like continue this charade and keep this story going. And it's
Right. And
like,
the other thing I was thinking, they don't care if this gets thrown out because all they'll do is scream that poor Karen again and the judge is in on it and she's framed and she, you know what I'm saying? Like if they don't care because it will just feed into their, the victim of, Karen's the poor victim of, Massachusetts and even the federal, court now.
Well, and
it's so unethical. It's so unethical.
Yeah, it is.
Not to take care of her, your client, by not allowing her to do the stupid shit.
I think she's
ultimately, I was about to say, ultimately, don't they have to do what she wants? Like in the end, I mean, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, her and Alan Jackson probably.
In the Kelsey Fitzsimmons trial, right? So Bradel, who is representing Aiden, he in his other recent case with Kelsey Fitzsimmons, he has a connection to the judge, right?
Right.
And so had this have been a completely different storyline where the tables were turned, that would have been made such a massive deal.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
It would be Sean McCabe times a million.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shocks for days.
So, if this gets denied, and they find some weird cousin's second dog's, haircut barber lawn guy. Yeah. It's like, if they start making a deal that which they can, they will. I mean, there's always, that's the thing about rabbit holes of conspiracy, is there is no end to it. It is literally a spiral that makes more rabbit holes. And that's what can be so maddening when you're trying to have a conversation with people who just keep the possibilities going.
Yeah. Just to continue that, like what I was saying before about this, like, you know, she's confirming now she is suing them based on their testimony against her. They make a good point here. The controlling law, this law that they're talking about, it's based on precedent that is dated back centuries, right? Unequivocally clear that claims of this nature cannot survive. So it's well-established law that she can't do this. And then they make the point here, like we talked about earlier, without, so it says the immunity extends to all persons, governmental or otherwise, who were integral parts of the judicial process. Without this immunity, the truth-seeking process would be impaired. Witnesses might be reluctant to testify, and even if a witness took the stand, the witness might be inclined to shade his testimony in favor of the potential plaintiff for fear of subsequent liability.
Yep.
So there you go. That's another boom I have.
It does. It's the most ridiculous lawsuit I've ever seen.
Yeah. It brought out a point too, which I thought was interesting because I never really thought about this, but it's even outside of the courtroom, their statement says witness statements are absolutely privileged, even if rendered outside of the courtroom, so long as they are made in the context of a proposed judicial proceeding.
Right.
So even if they had made a statement outside of court, it was still protected.
Right.
Yeah.
As long as it had to do with this, you know, this proceeding.
And she made all sorts of statements outside of court, which were defamatory and untrue, including accusing Jen McCabe of perjury.
She did.
And numerous other statements. And so that's kind of ironic.
Can we read this real quickly? So this person is saying she allegedly had 7 to 9 vodka tonics, which is not 7, it's 9, maybe
It's
more.
More than 9.
But they, you know, the officers testified 9. I could see a drunk person doing that, most likely accidentally. Reversing, is that what you're talking about? But even if on purpose, I don't think it proves anything. What are you talking about? Does it prove what?
It proves exactly that she hit him because it was at the exact same time that he stopped moving forever.
Yeah, forever. Never moved again.
Ever. Never moved again at the
Phone
exact same
battery.
time.
Don't make me pull up the phone battery temperature. Pat's.
I feel like old Pat's
is
dead knows. He just can't.
He does
just
know.
can't-
He's
he
trolling.
does. He just can't.
I mean,
He's
you
trolling.
can make a possibility for anything. I mean,
Sure, it's
any of
possible
these,
that aliens killed John O'Keefe.
right? You
Yep.
can say someone that Ted Bundy was charged with murdering. You could take one of those cases and be like, well, there was his DNA on this and DNA on that, and he was there and he was this. But how do you know that he didn't just, you know, have sex with her and then someone came up when he turned his back and killed her? And then, you know, like you can always do that. You have to use totality of evidence and you have to use logic. I mean, it's like, it's insane the way people just are dying to pull this story apart so much to avoid thinking that
Avoid
a drunk,
looking at the text stream data.
right? The drunk driver reversed and drunkenly hit the man that she says she fucking hates. And her car tells us she did it. And an expert
His phone
told us she
tells
hit
us
him.
she did it.
And an expert told us the physics of being clipped. And then we saw ARCA show us it. It's like, come on.
So
Like-
what is your investment in ignoring the text stream data? I want to know the hill that everyone is dying on. I want to know why you refuse to talk about the text stream data. You refuse to talk about what her Lexus told us. You refuse to talk about what John's cell phone told us. You just want to talk about butt dials. So what personal investment do you have in ignoring the actual data and going with butt dials? I would like to know what it is that motivates you. I'm asking a serious question. I would like to know what endorphin in you is served by ignoring the actual data and talking about butt dials and trolling here.
Yeah.
Well, to
Answer the
answer this here, reversing 25 yard and hitting your target, I don't think she was purposely trying to hit John. I think it was an accident. I don't think she had a target when she was
No,
backing
she
up.
didn't. It wasn't her target. She was just she was pissed.
It just happened. It just
She was
happened. She
pissed.
backed up and it happened. He
But
wasn't.
guess what? You're still responsible, even
Yeah.
if it was an accident.
Right.
Still
Yeah.
responsible.
It's not impossible for her to hit him, and
No.
it's not even, I mean, the probability is there if you're behind a car.
Pretty
and
high.
someone
He's
is-
behind you. Right.
So my question is, are you ACAB? Have you donated money to any of these people? What is it? Because otherwise we're just going to ban you because you're not a serious person. So
I think he likes
Tell us
watching
your
our shows.
investment.
I don't think we should ban. I think he does. I think he's learning. I think he does. I think he
I
knows.
just want to know what the motivation is.
I think a lot of these people, I've said this before, I think they have to keep believing, right? Because if not, look what they've done to these people.
Have I been cursing?
No, I don't think so.
It's
I
Easter.
don't know. I don't hear it though.
It's Easter.
It's Easter, damn it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Or if you just, so somebody, this person said, or if you're just like one of those weirdos that think like a white lady who isn't in her pajamas can do no wrong. I mean, that's fine, but I want you to say it.
Right.
If that's what it is, I want you to say it.
Yeah.
Pats is dead.
Yeah. I don't
Say
know what
it.
it is. I can't
Yeah,
figure it
say
out.
Say you got the hots for Karen. Say you know, Turtle Boy is aspirational. Say you donated money. Say you're ashamed. Say something. Say it.
Okay. While he is coming up with a response, I'm going to go back.
Nobody timed you out, you weirdo. Hush. Sorry.
Just because, yeah, I'm on 24 and I've got like a bunch. So
Okay,
I'm going to try to like speed
Is
through
that
it a little bit.
25? There we go. Okay.
Yeah. So bottom of 24 is basically saying that even the statements the witnesses gave before her arrest or court hearings are still immune from civil claims. And again, she is relying on their testimony over a dozen times in this complaint, making it very clear, I'm suing you because of your testimony. So, bottom of 25 is basically telling us that her claims that the witnesses lied or testified falsely still do not defeat immunity. The law protects the act of giving testimony, and malice or falsehood does not change that. So again, even if they lied, which they did not, but even if they did, she can't overcome that. And I just have a note. This is why anti-SLAPP and witness immunity often work together. Courts shut down claims based on legal participation even before even getting to the truth or intent. So it's shut down based on the fact that they participated at all. They don't even have to get to the next step.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys see what old Pat's just said? See? Yay,
No.
old Pat is dead. It's a fair point.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have never thought she intended to hit him ever. I mean, I don't know.
Some people do. I think, Lydia, don't you?
I absolutely do.
Yeah.
I think
a lot of
put
people
a
do.
6,000-pound vehicle in reverse and you 75% throttle it, you have an intent. But I understand if you think she just wanted to, what did she say? Garner
A
attention.
reaction.
Yeah, garner a reaction because she's a weirdo. I understand if you think that. I don't think that.
Yeah.
Because a vehicle has been proven in court over and over and over again to be a deadly weapon. It's just like a firearm. So I think she did have intent, but I'm not going to throw shade at people who just think she's an insane, impulsive weirdo who wanted to make a point with John, because I can also see that.
I think a lot of the people that have Lydia's point, which I always go back and forth, is because I might be wrong here, but didn't her text stream data show she kind of stopped, right?
And then reverse.
And then reverse. So it's like, that's also, I think, where that first degree charge came, right?
Right.
Second degree.
Second degree. Was, she stopped, right? She could have left.
Yeah.
Whatever. So it is always like a thing with me, because I don't think she meant to kill him. I've never thought that. Right?
No.
I never thought she meant to kill him, but did I think it was second degree murder? I did, because because of the stop and the.
I feel like she went to yell at him. I feel like she was so mad, and she's one of those people like, fuck you. And then I did cuss today. And then she like went forward, and then she's like, and you know what? You know what I mean? Like one of those like girl moves.
That's what I've always thought too. Like basically that she was backing up to have the last word. She was pissed. And like she was backing up to scream at him or something. Probably, you pervert, out the window.
Which would be manslaughter.
Yes.
Right? That would be manslaughter if you thought, like, I think she went and she was gonna leave, and then she was like, fuck him, and like back. Like, I don't think she knew, she was hammered, but I think I don't think she was like, oh, I want to go talk to him. I think she was like, that motherfucker. And like,
absolutely.
Like that's what I think.
And just, I mean, I don't know. Anybody is a firearm owner knows there are things you don't do with cars and you don't do with guns.
Yeah, of course.
Unless you intend to kill someone.
Yeah. That's why I was agreeing with second degree, because I thought part of second degree was she should have known that action could have caused his death.
Absolutely.
Right.
So even no matter why she was backing up, she should have known it could have hurt him or caused his death if he was hit. So that's why I was like, yeah, I mean, I think second degree applies, but
yeah,
right.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Bottom of 25, there's a footnote here, which is basically telling us it's referencing Karen's baseless accusations about, destroying the phones with Brian Albert and Higgins. And the fact that, all of that supposedly happened well after she was arrested. So to prove her claim of malicious prosecution, she would have to have facts showing that their actions caused the legal case to happen, or caused her prosecution to happen. And since these actions happened after legal proceedings started, they cannot be the cause of her claims. So sorry, I hope you guys don't hear dogs barking, because
timeline again.
But yes, exactly. Timeline issues again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Shannon. Hank did say that about the kids in the driveway.
Yeah, that was a great illustration
Yeah.
that Hank did. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. C gets into it being time barred. All of these claims are subject to a 3-year statute of limitation, and that has expired because she doesn't have to know every single thing. She doesn't get to say, oh, well, I didn't know about the phones until this date. I didn't know about whatever, 227 until this date. It's when it's the initial point when you're claiming an injury has occurred.
Which is what, in her mind, the malicious prosecution, which happened before.
Right. And so November 17th, 2022 would have been the, it says the claims are time barred because Ms. Reed was aware of those purported efforts long before November 17th, 2022. So her 3 years would have been up November 17th, 2025.
Oh, that's interesting.
And this is another point where How did the attorneys not know it's time barred?
Yeah. Yep. So even assuming the allegations were true, that's long before November 17th, she would have known about all of that. Because that's when she filed, right? Didn't she file? No, I don't remember.
When did she file? I don't.
It was November 17th.
Okay. So that's why they put that date in there. Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah. And they're just kind of going through the time thing, like all the different times she went to court and claimed this, that, the other,
Right.
3 years had long expired. They talk about the September 15th, 22 motion when she presents the exact same theory that she's presenting in this case, right? So let me go.
You're right. Maybe she does blame John every chance she gets.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then 28, again, her claiming that they destroyed their phones does not cure her time bar.
Right.
Sorry, I'm just trying to read through it really quickly, see if I have any major points, because we're getting close to 3 hours again.
Sorry. It's not
We're like a 3 hour
so
stream
long.
now. We're a 3 hour stream
I
now.
know. Page 29, I just have a note at the bottom saying, so accordingly, the only civil rights violation that the Commonwealth witnesses are alleged to have infringed upon is Mrs. Reed's Fourth Amendment right to be free from wrongful arrest. But it says absolutely nothing in the amended complaint, aside from their protected testimony offered against Miss Reed, connects the Commonwealth witnesses to the prosecution. So basically what that's saying is, again, she's relying on their testimony to sue them, right? Because aside from this protected testimony, there is no connection between them and the decision to prosecute her. And that matters because a wrongful prosecution claim like she's making requires that she shows that they actively caused or participated in her prosecution. Simply testifying, even if it was false, like she claims, does not count. It's protected.
I mean, a grand jury indicted her.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
This really makes no sense.
Do we need the smoking McConaughey again?
So confusing. It's just so confusing.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost her thing again. Oh.
And you know what else is confusing is
She's gonna kill me.
the federal grand jury didn't indict any of these people that she's accusing. So that's also a little bit confusing.
Yeah, and they talk about that in here too. No, where's my thing? Here it is. Page 3. Oh no, it's okay. Yeah, and so again, she fails to state that the Commonwealth witnesses commenced or continued the criminal proceedings, which is another thing. She doesn't even. I think this is the one where it says she doesn't even mention it. Yeah, there are no allegations that the defendants did anything to further the prosecution of the plaintiff, or that the state actor relied on information from the defendants when deciding whether to submit the criminal complaint. So that element is not satisfied. I like that they brought this up. The bottom of 30, there's actually a footnote I missed here. So they're saying the only relevant allegations that this conspiracy continued for years after Mr. O'Keefe's death are that Mrs. McCabe lied to a separate law enforcement agency in April 2023 and spoke with other law enforcement officials in anticipation of Miss Reed's trial in September of 2023. Activity that is similarly barred by absolute immunity. Moreover, the allegation that defendant, they're talking about Yuri here. Remember, she brought up this allegation that he fundraised for the witnesses. Right. And they mentioned it's a red herring because all of that, again, occurred after her acquittal. So it does not matter. It was just more fodder for the pink people.
It was PR.
Yep. I'm trying to find the part. I love the part where they talk about her.
I agree with this, Mabe. I think she has convinced herself to.
I don't believe that.
No, I don't either. She knows she did it.
Yep.
I think she's just so narcissistic.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeannie.
Yeah, this is the part. So she fails to allege that the Commonwealth witnesses took an active role in her investigation and prosecution. And she does not assert that they induced or pressured law enforcement to arrest her in any way. The complaint only alleges that they caused her wrongful indictment, arrest, and prosecution, but it's just an allegation. There's no proof of it, right? And it says, removing the speculation that defendant Proctor had a relationship with the Alberts through a purported relationship with non-parties, Julie or Kevin Albert. The only interaction that the Commonwealth witnesses are accused of having with the investigation and prosecution are through their witness statements and trial testimony. Such is wholly insufficient. So the amended complaint states that Ms. McCabe once visited the homes of defendant Proctor and Sergeant Lank leading up to Ms. Reed's criminal trials, but she fails to assert what was discussed at those meetings, or more notably, that such meetings influenced her prosecution at all, right? Or that it induced them to even do anything. She doesn't even say what was said,
Right.
what they talked about, how it led to her prosecution. Nothing. There's nothing. It's just, oh, they went to this person's house and that's shady.
Right. And what we all know is that she went to Liz Proctor's house after all of this to discuss what was being done to all of them, right? After Jen was being stalked and harassed, after Liz Proctor was getting letters wishing cancer on her children.
Mm-hmm.
And we know now, after Karen Reed was trying to set up surveillance at, the Proctor's home. That's what they were discussing when Jen went over there.
Yeah.
Right. Freaks over there taking pictures of their plates for Karen.
So yeah, they became, this bonded these people. I mean, they were literally all hunted and stalked. So
that's the thing. That's what's so ironic. She pushed them together.
Yes.
And then she said, oh, look at them. They're together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Good point.
Right. That's a great point.
I like this point too. The amended complaint, as well as publicly available information incorporated by so basically in the amended complaint, she's outlining a bunch of other evidence that was used to charge her. So thank you. Like, it's not like unlawful prosecution, but she outlines a bunch of the evidence that, and it says that the Commonwealth witnesses had no role in so much of what was used to prosecute her.
Right.
So, and she outlines it for us clearly.
Yes.
So that was kind of her. Let's see. Basically, they go on to she fails to establish an absence of probable cause. Right. There's the taillight was cracked. She said she did not see John go in. And I like here, and a secondary independent investigation was conducted, which we all know what that was, that resulted in no additional arrest, which undermines her theory that this arrest was entirely controlled by the defendants. So the FBI that she no longer wants to mention went on to arrest no one else, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of this was repetitive. I don't have any boom notes. I have a lot underlined, but I think a lot of that was, this is just talking about Jen again on page 35, talking about her visiting Proctor's home. And then, again, the confusing part is that the confusing proposition that Proctor, Buchanan, and Tully somehow coordinated with the Alberts and McCabe's through Proctor's sister Courtney, who communicated frequently with Julie Albert, does not salvage her claims. For the court to impute state action based on that assertion, it would need, or assertion, sorry, it would need to find that an agreement between the Commonwealth witnesses and law enforcement was somehow established through 3 levels of back-channel communications involving 2 individuals who Ms. Reed does not allege participated in the conspiracy.
Right.
Insane.
How do you get around that?
You can't. You can't.
Notably, the reader is left to guess what confidential information Courtney Proctor shared with Julie Albert. Again, what was it? We have no idea. Common law conspiracy, number 3 on the bottom of 35. I have a note here. It says in common law, a civil conspiracy claim is basically 2 or more people work together to commit a wrongful act, and that act caused me harm. But the key point is you can't have a civil conspiracy claim without an underlying wrongful act or a tort. So she doesn't have the support of what the wrongful act actually was with this conspiracy.
So that's back to her not filing a wrongful death.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep. 36 just addresses it again, that the complaint is devoid of allegations that the Commonwealth witnesses ever came to an agreement with law enforcement to commit a wrongful act. There's no proof. There's zero proof that they all came to some type of agreement to prosecute her together.
Right.
I got a boom, but I need to see what this boom is about.
It's on 37?
37, yeah.
Okay.
So even accepting as true the allegations that the Commonwealth witnesses hid certain exculpatory evidence from law enforcement, courts have long recognized that a citizen ordinarily has no legal obligation to volunteer exculpatory information to law enforcement authorities. Boom. So the law recognizes that they don't even have an obligation to provide that to her.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that's kind of it. I mean, there's more, but we're getting close to the conclusion. I think some of that is repetitive.
Yeah.
A lot of it is. I mean, a lot of it, when you go through these claims, a lot of the claims have to do with others.
Yeah, they have to repeat every single allegation.
I mean, their lawyers did such a fantastic job.
They did. They really did.
They really, really did.
Yeah. Yep, they did an amazing job, and I loved reading it. It's like, it's so like
You
it's
did a
just
great
so
job.
nice. Thank you. It's just so nice to read something that actually has like
structure,
legal merit.
Yeah.
Isn't fantasy
good
language.
grammar.
And it wasn't even in 14 font size.
Yep. And double spaced, and I read it just fine.
Amazing.
So I don't know. So if everybody knows this. So the next step would be, it's such like a long, civil cases. This is why they cost so much money, and most people don't sue in civil court. So the next step would be they, of course, get to answer this because, as Ginny pointed out, they never answered the motion to dismiss, right? They just amended their complaint, which was obviously done on purpose. So now they get to answer, which,
What is the answer period?
I feel like it's 2 weeks, but I could be wrong. I feel like it was always 14 days, but then they always ask for extensions, so who knows if they ask.
There's a lot of claims. Yeah. They usually end up asking for like a 30-day.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is
so long,
and then their lawyers respond again, which could be another 30 days, and then they'll argue in court. So
you think the arguments are 60 to 90 out?
For sure. For sure. Unfortunately, yeah.
That sucks.
It does. It's I mean, I think she's doing this, a lot of this, just to bleed
To
them dry.
delay.
And to bleed them dry, right? I mean, every time lawyers write something like this, it costs
Yep.
the most absurd amount of money, which, guys, please, if you can, even, $5, $10, whatever you can, defendingthetruth.org. The witnesses so appreciate your help. It's a really expensive predicament they've been put in by
And
Karen.
it's unfair because she's
Really
not paying
unfair.
her lawyers.
Yeah,
as
it's
she
really
has said
unfair.
over and over again.
That's why I really hope that the court looks at this. Like, I mean, what Ginny just read it's so bad. It's so ridiculous. I really hope that she has to pay their lawyer fees.
Yeah, I do too.
In Massachusetts, I would be shocked, but it's so much money. So
That's
much
a lot of money.
Yeah.
If you're not Karen.
Right. Right. But that's the, the timeline, just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where we are.
Yep.
And then we were all talking, I know we talked about before, we'll give you guys more information, but we're hoping maybe the end of April, we'll do like a fundraiser, like a, kind of fun fundraiser or something, try to get a bunch of people on, which would be really fun.
Yeah.
So maybe the end of April might be a good time for that.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of this parsing the truth that they keep talking
I
about?
haven't. I just saw.
Mabe had said that was really, really, that's a great idea.
Oh,
I just wrote the
for that.
podcast. Is it a podcast or is it a channel? YouTube?
Oh yeah,
It's a podcast. And I think he said a while back, I had seen, he posted, they did I think they did a show on the, was it the text stream data maybe?
Really?
Yeah, or
something.
Tuesday? You gotta
I
get
know
on
that's
that.
like that's my
your
sauce
jam.
and my butter and sauce. What's the term? That's my
Your bread and butter.
Bread and butter.
Yeah, we should try to get them
I
on.
was so close.
Yeah,
So-
we should. Let's do it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now,
I mean,
I-
I'm interested in listening in general. They sound interesting.
Yeah.
I would like Mabe to please put in the comments how the heck we're supposed to pronounce that.
I think
Let's
Jenny,
vote.
Jenny
Let's
is
vote.
it maybe?
I did ask him and I forgot.
I think it's
I
Mabe.
asked him too, and I forgot. I always call him maybe.
This
That
is
is
Mabe.
rude. I would
My
like
guess
it
is it's Mabe.
officially.
I'm voting Mabe.
It might be Mabe.
What if it's Maba?
Like
I mean,
Abba. Or,
Come on. I need an official ruling here. I don't trust these women. Come on.
Mabe.
Mabe.
Maybe.
I think we're going to be back Thursday, right? Instead of Saturday again.
I don't know. Maybe. It's maybe.
Maybe.
Ah, fudge. Fudge.
Now we know.
I lost.
What are we doing on Thursday? Are we back on Thursday?
I don't know.
Is this the week that we said Thursday again instead of Saturday?
I don't know.
I will not be here.
We'll figure it out.
Y'all know.
Yeah, we'll figure it
Mr.
out.
Bunny is leaving until
Yes.
next Easter.
Yeah.
So
Till next week.
I think as summer comes along, we're going to move like maybe to during the week. instead
Yeah,
of-
after Memorial Day. Unless anything crazy happens, then we'll-
Yeah.
yeah.
So.
So yeah,
Baker calls,
Baker calls you the hags. Oh,
He's so
Baker.
nice. What a
that's
nice guy.
lovely.
That is the incel man who lives
yes,
across
into the Danish
world. Who accidentally shows his porn on screen and then degrades women. So I'm not surprised.
we
Yeah.
care a lot about his opinion right here.
Yeah.
He's
Have
mad.
you guys seen Baker? I don't know. Looking at all these ladies on the screen, I don't think anybody looks like a hag. So
No. He loves Aiden though. They're like,
Yeah.
he really does. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a very special connection, if you know what I mean.
Is he from? He's from a different country, right?
Denmark, I think,
Denmark.
right?
Yeah.
Denmark is where he
Brady
stole his valor.
Wait, where did that guy go? The one that made a shirt with Julie on him, and he was so weird.
Oh, Dylan.
Dylan.
Julie, is he gone?
I don't know where he's been.
I don't know.
Remember
if
he
I know
like
who that
came
is.
here? Remember he was at the standouts and
Yep.
he had a Patriots hat on. It was ridiculous.
Such a bunch of weirdos, I swear.
Yeah.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Thanks, soul sister. I had a lot of issues after watching Aiden's show on us last night, because literally the entire chat was filled with people talking about how big my head was. So it was oh no, I'm not.
In your head is?
entire chat was talking about the size of my head. You guys
Right.
actually
That's
know
what's
about the
important.
size of my head.
That's
I can't.
important.
I'm sorry. It was every single comment. It was
Really?
yes. It was really sad.
What doesn't
Yeah,
surprise me that they're just sitting in the chat degrading people. So
It was hilarious, actually. I mean, it was
If only we cared what they thought about the size of our heads.
right. So
Yep.
yeah. All right, ladies, that was great. Gee, you did a great job. Great job
Yeah,
reading
thank
it.
you.
Thank you. I'm
And
tired. I'm ready for bed. See,
I am
this
too.
is what I'm
It's our
saying.
bedtime.
9 o'clock, I'm in bed.
Yeah. It's our bedtime.
all right,
For
so
sure.
we'll see you guys. We'll figure it out.
oh, you're a mama llama guy.
He loves
I
the
know,
size of your head.
my dad is my friend. He gets a little snarky sometimes, but I think
Well.
I think he's coming around. I think he's coming around.
Well,
I
I
hope so. I'm gonna
appreciate
ban his ass if he's not. You know how I love to ban people.
Happy Easter, April. Thank you.
Happy Easter.
Thanks,
April. We always
everyone.
Thank you.
have fun in the chat.
Oh, see,